Hello everybody, welcome back to another XP12 stream. It's been a little while, I do apologise. Not much content recently, but hopefully pretty soon I can tell you why that is. But today we are looking at a brand new aircraft. We are looking at the Toliss A320Ceo with the older IAE and CFM engines. Now, big thank you to Toliss for providing me with a early access preview copy of the add-on pack. Now, to be clear, it is an add-on pack to the A320neo. It's not a separate aircraft, so you need the A320neo, and then you can get this add-on pack to get the CEO stuff as well, just like the A321. So it is an add-on pack. It's $30 when it releases on, I believe, Friday. So yeah, big thank you to Toliss for providing me with this pack. For disclosure, I did of course get it for free, but that, as always, doesn't affect my views. And we'll talk about what I think of the latest from Toliss. Welcome everyone, Heart Experience, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Captain Andre, welcome. Stan, Hadrish, and good afternoon. Good day, everyone. Welcome, Stan. Thank you very much for being here. Really appreciate it. Explain Aviator. Yes, yeah, I'm really lucky to get the early access. It's all down to you guys. Really lucky, and I'm glad that I can stream this for you today. Looks like we've got stream elements for the first time in a while. One for a welcome. How's it going, my friend? And Dankest Osprey, welcome. How are you? Alrighty, so we're gonna initially take a look at the. I'm just gonna turn that off because the sound is annoying. We are going to look at the aircraft. So of course the A320neo I did purchase myself. So the base aircraft I purchased myself. I was just given the actual add-on pack by Toliss. So what does it add? Basically, we get access to the older engines and all of the changes in the aircraft systems, fuel flow, all that good stuff that come along with it. So it turns the aircraft into the older CEO variant, essentially. It is, of course, more than a visual change. Of course, you get updated fuel flow and all the correct systems changes with the older version of this aircraft. So it does fly and perform exactly as the real thing. As you expect from Toliss, that is really where they excel. And you can see here we have the lovely IAE V2500 engines here. And what we'll do, we're doing two sectors today, as you may have seen. We're here in Toulouse, and we are heading over to Nice, because I got the new Just Sim scenery for that, which is really, really nice. It's a fantastic airport scenery. So we're going to head over there, and then we're going to head up to Zurich from there, around 45 minutes, 50 minutes for both flights. And then what we'll do is for the second flight, we'll probably switch over to the CFM engines, so we can listen to both sounds. Now, I don't have anything else installed on the aircraft, so it's pure stock. at the minute. No Carter engines, no COSP sound pack, nothing. This is default Tollis for you guys today. So, Madras Pilot, welcome. How's it going? Owen, welcome. Amon, welcome. Glad to see you all here. So, yeah, so we had the engines. Let's have a, we can have a quick look. Now, I'm pretty sure the model is pretty much the same as the A319 and the 321 CEO. At least from what I can tell, the models are pretty much the same on both of those. At the end of the day, they are pretty much the same engine, only minor differences really internally. But yeah, modeling, texture work is as we would expect from Tollis. It's about the same as the 321 and the 320 in the 319. Sorry. Of course, the fuselage and all that good stuff doesn't really change anyway. You do of course get the sharklets. I can't remember if we had the sharklets before, but of course, yeah, sharklets here for the older style of aircraft. So let's hop into the cockpit. Nothing really has changed in the cockpit. It is, like I said, the same base A320Neo aircraft, and the Neo and the CEO don't have any cockpit differences anyway, realistically. So nothing new to really show in here. Textures and modeling is pretty much the same as always with Tollis. I think they they excel at the systems and the flight model. And for example, the ISCS, I had a crash yesterday when I was doing a test flight, and the autosave and the save load situation saved me. It works perfectly. It's the only autosave system that actually seems to work for me. And so this is where Tollis really excel. ISCS is pretty much all the same, except we can pick between whichever engines we would like, as you can see. So you can switch between the Neo and the CEO as well. But the rest is I don't see anything new really. All you do when you do get the add-on, you can download the extra documentation and the liveries that come with it. This is a included livery, the one I'm using today. I'll show you some of the liveries that come with it. You can download those, and then all you do to actually unlock the CEO upgrade is you put your license key from the explain.org store in here, and it will do its thing, and you are ready to go. So yeah, same Tollis stuff, but this is where they excel. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about the modeling and the texture work. Now, in terms of the cockpit, I do think the cockpit textures are better in the 320 series of aircraft than the 330 and the 340. To me, they look better. It is a little bit darker than I would expect for an Airbus cockpit. Of course, it's going to vary based on your own monitor and the way you've got X-Plane set up and stuff. But from what I've seen, that is slightly dark, but that's not changed anyway. Modeling, of course, I think the modeling is not bad. It could do with some work, particularly on the engines. We're very used to seeing Carter engines on this aircraft, as I always run Carter engines on my 320 fleet of aircraft, and these are pretty much the same. So I think work could be done in terms of the modeling, but again, I recognize that that's not necessarily what Tollis strengths are, and it's not necessarily what they're aiming for either. Um, you know, Another part of their business is, of course, the full motion sims and professional simulators as well. Of course, they are now in partnership with Airbus as well. So that's where they excel. Yeah, like I said, modeling isn't bad by any means. It's good enough, unless you really, really are gonna, start to interrogate it up close. Then you're gonna see some differences when you compare to something like the Flight Factor 777 V2, for example, which is sort of the gold standard for airliners at the minute. It's obviously not on par with that, but the systems are just excellent. Quickly on the sounds as well, we'll hear them. I actually think it's been a while since I've heard default Tollis sounds, because I always use a sound pack. I actually don't think they're bad at all. The default sounds quite surprised me. I think they're the same anyway. I don't think there've been much changes to the sounds. They were surprisingly decent. Of course, this COSP sound pack is far better, and I still would recommend the COSP sound pack. For this stream, I am just using Default, I will probably use the COSP once it gets updated. But you know what? For default, it's not too bad. Of course, there is room for improvement, though. I do think so. They're not on the level of the Flight Factor 777 V2. But having said that, a lot of work has gone into this. There's a lot of systems stuff in the background, and this is where Toliss shines, in my opinion. And it flies like a dream. It really does. I really enjoy hand flying this aircraft. We're doing a lovely RNAV approach into, if I bring this across, we're doing a lovely RNAV approach into Nice, which should be a lot of fun to hand fly as well. And like I said, it is just one of my favorite aircraft to hand fly, even if it is the Airbus. And there's all the fly-by-wire stuff going on. It's still super fun. All right, so let's take a look here. So we are parked at one of the stands over here. I was going to park over here at the delivery center, but it's not actually an option in the default X-Plane Toulouse Airport to park over there, and I thought this would be a shorter taxi down to the runway. As you can see here, we're departing runway 32 right on the AMOL 7 Bravo departure here in the south of France, and then we'll head over to the east over Marseille on the Abla 7 Romeo arrival into Nice, and then we're going to be probably end up vectors out of over the ocean, and then take this RNAV approach into what runway are we doing? 22 right. So here. Do of course have the just sim scenery for this and some lovely orthos for departure and arrival. One for yes, absolutely. The FPS, that's another thing. Toliss really shines when it comes to the frame rate. As you can see, I'm getting 53, 52 frames per second with Traffic Global running. I'm streaming. Not the highest end system, to be completely honest. It generally performs better than the default aircraft, and they are some of the best performing aircraft for me. Even with VRAM, they are pretty low on VRAM. But of course, the higher you, the more detail you include in the model, in the textures, that is going to impact performance, of course. So that is a benefit for sure. Absolutely. The Toliss aircraft are just superb on frames. As I also have TAP E1 E-jets of some sort, E175 maybe coming into land. So yeah, there's my thoughts. I still love these aircraft. The Toliss fleet is my go-to when I'm doing test flights and stuff. I just love them. I know they aren't the most visually accurate and stuff, but for me it's about the systems, it's about the hand flying. That's what it's all about for me. But you know, I will admit that the modeling and the sounds could do with a bit of work, in my opinion. Golden Aviation, hello, welcome. Just saw the CEO announcement. 30 USD seems a bit steep. New engine, modified winglets, and slightly different performance. It's not slightly different performance. There's quite a big difference. It isn't just different numbers. There's still quite a lot of systems simulation, which is going to be different with the auto thrust, fuel, all of that kind of thing, weight balance, the way the aircraft flies. I think $30 isn't too bad for an entirely new aircraft, essentially, because the CEO is relatively different and it is very popular. So if you're looking to be using the correct aircraft for the correct flight, if you're doing real world flights, of course a lot of flights are still going to be on the 320 CEO, so it is brilliant. Cammy Lewis, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Be able to get rid of having 3 different Toliss A320s for the Neo and card mods. I mean, with the card mods, you can have a lot of people separate the engines out with the card mod for different aircraft. You can just stick them all on the same ACF. Like I've done my 321. I have one. In fact, well, technically I have two 321s, but they all have the same Carder engines. I've just got one is my passenger variant and one's a cargo variant, which is of course a mod from XP Javelin. But yeah, like the A319 will have is the same aircraft for both Carder engines, and the 320 will be the same as well. So we'll resume. Golden, I do agree. Phoenix, if you're looking for the best value for money, Phoenix is unbeatable. I do agree. Considering that their systems are also very good and are very close. The flight models get in there. They have to take more and more out of the sim, but the Phoenix flight model is getting there as well. And then, of course, the visuals and the sounds are just very, very good in the Phoenix. So I do think the Phoenix are better value for money, but I think the Phoenix are some of the best value for money airliners in any sim ever, to be honest. But it's too difficult, and I don't like to compare aircraft between two different sims because they're different limitations and all sorts, you know. Microsoft Flight Sim has huge limitations when it comes to the flight model, hence why Phoenix have to take more and more of the flight model outside and run it in their own software. Whereas, of course, X-Plane does have visual limitations as well. So, you know, but both are good. And I have the entire Phoenix fleet, I have the entire Toliss fleet. I love them both, you know, I really do. All right, so let's get into it then. Let's start the aircraft here. Get the bats on. There we are. Emergency exit lights, no smoking, seat belts, and we got rid of the GPU, didn't we? Let's see. Yeah, get the external power back because it was loud. I got rid of it. We'll put that back in. There it is. Nav logo lights, wing light can stay off, crew supply, ground control, and we'll put the ADAS into nav. There it is. Alright. Nice. So you can see all the self-tests happening, all as you would expect. I'll just get my Volanta going here and track the flight. Of course, I think the entire 319, 320 and the 321 have now been upgraded with the new weather radar in X-Plane 12.3, which we are on. We're on the latest X-Plane 12.3 beta. We are not live. We are real weather, but not live time at the minute, because I wanted to show off the aircraft properly. Let's have a little look at the engine here, as you can see. Alrighty, so aircraft starting up. We'll go weight balance here, reset to current, and what we can do is we can go in it and request the flight plan. There it is. Yeah, I'm very glad that we now have all the major, you know, A320 family aircraft now in X-Plane. We've got the 320Neo CEO, the 319 CEO. Of course, the Neo isn't. There is a Neo technically, but not particularly popular. And then the 321 Neo and the CEO as well. Does a COSP sound pack work with 320 CEO? I think I saw someone using it, and I think it does work. Personally, I'm going to wait for the official go-ahead from the developer, or he might even update it to make it work as well. So for now, we're using default sounds, but the COSP sound pack will, if it doesn't already work, it will get an update to make it work, absolutely. But I thought for the purpose of showcasing this, we should use the stock to best showcase the aircraft. So we can request a wind then from SimBrief. There it is. Cost index of 42, flight level 310 is going to be our cruise today. And I'll just confirm that. Actually, no, it's we're going to be doing 330 actually, according to SimBrief. So we'll put that in. And alright, we'll flight plan, departure. We'll put all this in, then we'll get our clearance. Should all be the same, hopefully. Departing runway 3 to right on the AMOL 7 Bravo. So we'll put that in. That all looks good, no discontinuities. We'll go to Nice, arrival. We're on the ILS. Oh no, I put the wrong wrong flight in my Navigraph. That is from yesterday, so let's put it in. I think it was actually 310 then. Just let that load. So on my tablet, I forgot to update the flight plan. I believe our friend Carl said these were larger engines, so wouldn't they sound different? I believe so, potentially. Knowing the developer of COSP, I'm sure he's going to update the sound pack to reflect the difference. Because of course there's a different distance with the 320. There's going to be a different distance between the cockpit and the engines. So the sound will be different in that respect as well when compared to, say, a 319 or 321. There will be small variations. So yeah, I'm sure the developer of COSP sound pack will go ahead and update it, reflecting those changes. Hence why I'm not using COSP at the minute. Because it might work for the majority of the part, but it might not be super accurate as well, so... right, why is this still giving me an ILS? Try and find the right flat plan on my Navigraph. Alright, I think we got the rest. Now we got the correct one. Okay, so... cruise was indeed 310, cost index 42. Okay, now we're good. So, flight plan, I think we did this correct anyway. We're doing 32 right on the AMOL 7 Bravo. Yes, so that's all good. Okay. Now, at Nice, we're going to be on the RNAV Delta, runway 22 right. So, RNAV 22 right Delta, that's the one we want. On the Abla 7 Romeo. And then we can go to Via and Via Mus. There it is. So we'll insert that. There we are. And I think we are good to go. Yes, we got the manual, we got the disco. That's perfectly fine. What I might do is I'll remove the manual and the disco, and then if we do get vectors, that's fine. If we do just get a direct to SOTOX, then that's already in. So we'll put that in. Perfect. So init B is already filled out. YouTube notification is not working. I don't know why they don't work sometimes. No idea. But anyway, welcome Nikki. Glad to have you here. So that's all pretty much done. We'll get the fuel pumps on, APU master on, and I'll start the APU, and while we do that, I will get our clearance. So, using same tensions today, as always. See if I can just get same tensions to connect here. Call sign today is Airbus Industry 818, as we are in the Airbus house livery, as a Cessna Caravan taxied out there. Look at that. Yeah, I'm on same tensions. I'll just give same tensions a restart quickly. It's a radio panel different than the 320 Neo. It's not, it's the same. It's absolutely the same. Right, same tensions, why are you not connecting, please? Maybe if I put the ATIS frequency in it, it'll figure itself out. So ATIS is 12313. Why same tension is not connecting to explain? Oh, I know why. There it is. If you turn that, if you if you do what I did and have this off,
if traffic
same
service
tensions
is requested,
won't work.
Read back
Right.
all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact you have information Papa. Toulouse Blagnac Airport, information Papa. 1900 Zulu. Arriving and departing runways 32 left, 32 right. Wind 305 at 6. Cav OK. Temperature 14. Dew point 10. QNH 1018. Transition level 60. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested. Read back all runway and hold short instructions.
So it's information Papa. We're going ahead and get our clearance. I don't believe the radio panel's different though between the Neo and the CEO, right? They're the same in real life anyway, so I don't think there's anything, there's nothing to change there as far as I know. We'll get our clearance frequency then, 121705. And we'll go ahead and get our IFR clearance. Put that in the active. We'll tell them where we are at the airport. And we're at Alpha 12. Blacknut clearance, Airbus Industry 818, standard Alpha 12 information Papa on board. Aircraft type Airbus A320, request IFR clearance to Nice, please. Let them get back to us. Nice, clear, beautiful day here in Toliss.
Give me just a minute. Airbus Industry 818, information Papa is current. Clear to Nice via the AMOL 7 Bravo departure, runway 32 right. Initial climb to 4000. Departure on 121.10, 5 squawk 5766.
Clear to Nice via the AMOL 7 Bravo departure, runway 32 right, initial climb to 4000. Departure on 121.105, squawk 5766, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, so there's our clearance then, 32 right, AMOL 7 Bravo departure, that's what we planned for. Initial climb to 5000.
Airbus Industry 818, feedback correct. Contact ground on 121.9.
Contact ground 121.9. Thank you very much, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, so we can go to ground then. 121.9. We'll put the tower frequency in there so it's ready to go, which is 118. 1181.
On behalf of the entire crew, including my lovely colleagues Marie, Lucas, Sophie and Julian, we're thrilled to have you with us
So, ground frequency, tower frequency, and then we need our departure frequency, 121.105, so I will just put that here.
If you need any assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to any member
So
of our
it's
crew.
ready.
Thank you, and enjoy your flight.
Squawk 5766. 5766. Okay, so we got our clearance on the APU, so we'll get the bleed on, packs normal, external power off. There we are. Takeoff perf then, air conditioning will be on, there the packs, everything else is good. So we'll see plenty of runway, so let's go ahead and get the performance numbers into the MCDU then. Let me know how the sounds are, hopefully they're okay. So QNH 1018. Let's get the winds. The winds are 310 at 6. It'll be a flaps 1 takeoff, so we'll put that in. Request that. Let's get better pushback here.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And we'll close the door, lock it, and there's our performance numbers. So we can go to takeoff data received. It'll be a flex takeoff, and we'll uplink that in there. Perfect. So I've got perf here, flight plan on the right, exactly how I want it. And everything up here looks good to me. Let's get our I've never locked the door. Let's get our clearance to push then. Are we on ground frequency? We are. Black Duck ground, Airbus Industry 818, ready to push.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Airbus Industry 818, Blagnac ground, push and start approved. Face southwest.
Pushing start approved, face southwest, Airbus Industry 818. Alrighty. Very nice indeed. I do like the retro livery here. It's one of the liveries that comes with the CEO upgrade. So pushing top roof face southwest is
Run to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Southwest is going to be nose to the right, tail to the left. Just like that.
Connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
And alright, so we can get now the beacon light on. We should be ready to push, so the parking brake can go off.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
And the slides and all that around. Why does it have a black nose cone? No idea, that's just part of the livery. No idea why the livery has that. I guess the real aircraft had that as well. Alright, shall we go ahead and start engine number 1 then? I'll let you listen to the sounds here. This is default Toulouse Airport. Alright, so that should be a good start number 1. Again, startup sounds aren't bad.
Operation complete, set parking brake.
But the COSP is of course better. Let's go ahead and start number 2. Okay, the PTU there. Yeah, this shadow issue is quite annoying. The way it sort of flickers there. Even though I've done the cloud fix from Q8 Pilot, this is an inherent X-plane issue, which I'm pretty sure is getting looked at for 12.4 hopefully, if not 12.5.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal of the left. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, let's get flaps 1. Alright, we'll head back to the cockpit then. So we got a good start on both engines. So back to norm. On the speed brakes, predicted wind shear and the weather radar can come on. And the APU can now go off. There's the pin. I'll do a quick flight control check and we'll set our trim. 0.6 we need, so full left, full right, full down, full up. We'll check the rudder as well. So full right, full left, and then we'll set our trim up 0.6, which is all set. Alright. Now we can get our taxi clearance. Black Knight ground, Airbus Industry 818 ready to taxi.
Airbus Industry 818, runway 32 right taxi via Tango 20, Papa 10, November 1.
Runway 32 right, taxi via Tango 20 Papa 10 November 1 Airbus Industry A18. Alright, so we can begin our taxi. We'll get the lights on, parking brake off, give it a little bit of thrust. And we'll get our Toby air tracker going here. So we're gonna taxi here, then we're gonna taxi to the left, basically, and then all the way down. Really simple taxi here today to get out of Toulouse. Now we'll get the auto brake on at max. There it is. And we'll head on out of here.
Cabin crew, all doors in flight and cross-check. Ladies and
Lovely
gentlemen,
King Air there.
welcome aboard Airbus Industry Flight 818 heading to Nice. On behalf of the entire crew, including my lovely colleagues Elodie, Antoine, Chloe and Maxine, we're thrilled to have you with us today.
So we do have authos for Toulouse, for Nice and for Zurich. But I don't have anything for in between. So some of the scenery in between the airports is going to be default, but we're going to be up at 31,000 foot anyway.
Insert the metal tip into the buckle until you hear a click. To release it,
All right.
simply lift the buckle.
Now we're on Papa 10. We'll take this all the way down to the end.
Just in case we experience any unexpected turns. In the unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen mask will drop down.
Very nice.
To use the mask, pull it towards you to start the flow of oxygen. Place it over your nose and mouth, and secure it with
I do like the look of the
remember to put your own mask
CEO, particularly the IE engines. They are my favorite. They look the best. Yeah, we'll switch to the CFM for the second flight, so you can take a look at those. Keep an eye on that ground speed.
Airbus Industry 818. Contact tower on 118.1.
Tower on 118.1, Airbus Industry A18. So we'll just park up here at the hold point, and then I will contact tower. November 1. Alright, yes, I do think the cockpit is too blue and dark, yeah, absolutely. The texture itself are actually decent, it's just the colours are a little bit off, I reckon. Flying with proper AT is much more realistic and immersive. Yeah, I love setting tensions, absolutely. Owen, X-Plane's looking great. My frame rate increased 15% to 20%. Oh, fantastic. Brilliant. Yeah, it's looking really nice at the minute, for sure. Right, let's contact tower. So put tower in, and then our departure frequency was 121.105, so I'll get that in standby. Blagnac Tower, Airbus Industry 818, holding short at November 1, ready for departure. Alert the cabin. Takeoff config is normal.
Airbus Industry 818, Blagnac Tower, runway 32 right, winds 300 at 6, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 32 right, Airbus Industry 818. Right, cleared for takeoff then. Nothing on the final approach. Nothing on the right as well, so we'll enter the runway. Landing lights, runway, the taxi light and strobes can go on. Alright. Is any airframe available for the Zibo 737 on SimBrief? There is, yes. I can't remember where I got it from, but I added it as a custom airframe. I think it's, if you look at the Zibo manual, it should be in there, I believe. So what you can do is you can add it as one of your custom airframes, and then you can just select it. Now you're going to hear some call outs on the takeoff, such as thrust set V1 rotate. Those are not part of Toliss. That is a Lewis script I'm running, which provides those. So we'll run the clock, put 50% in. Stable. Chrono, and we'll go to flex. Oh yeah, man, flex, SRS.
Thrust set.
Thrust is set. Release the forward pressure on the side stick.
100 knots.
Gentle rotation here.
Positive climb.
Positive climb, gears going up. Go for a quick flyby. Say goodbye to Toulouse.
Airbus Industry 818, contact departure on 121.105.
Contact departure 121.105, Airbus Industry 818. Black Knight departure, Airbus Industry 818, climbing through altitude 2,400 for 4,000. Go back to climb thrust.
Airbus Industry 818, Blagnac departure identified. Climb via the seat to flight level 200.
Climb via the seat, flight level 200, Airbus Industry 818. Alright. There's actually no restrictions on this SID, so we can go all the way up to 200. 200, alright, we're gonna hand fly it a little bit. Yeah, the sounds, that's what I meant, the sounds are actually not bad at all. The default sounds, they're not bad. Of course, COSP is a step above. And I will be using COSP for when it gets updated. But it's not bad for default. Alright, we'll retract the flaps, we'll disarm the speed brakes. As we make this right turn. Toulouse, lovely autos. Owen comes in with a $5 super chat. Thank you very much, Owen. Truly appreciate that. Your support is amazing. Thank you so much. Are you using same tensions? I am, absolutely. Alright, lovely clear day here. Beautiful day for flying. A little bit of haze, but not too bad. Alright, I think we'll get the autopilot on there. We can go standard on the altimeter. We'll just zoom out on the ND a little bit. Alrighty. I was watching a video on the Toliss A321 default sound from a couple of years ago. It sounded horrible. I was expecting it to be that then, but I guess they updated it. Yeah, I think they did at some point, yes. Absolutely. What map provider are you using? The big one always seems to wash out the colours. I've recently found that ARC aces in terms of the real life look. Yes, I generally use either Bing or ARC. It depends on the area. I can't remember what I use for Toulouse. I think this is Bing and it is ever so slightly washed out. But I think ARC, I think if I remember right, ARC wasn't like the same colour everywhere, so it looked a bit weird. But yeah, I use either Bing or ARC. I just, you know, depends on the area, whichever looks best. I use the preview in Auto for XP to provide, you know, check which one I like. Hey, kind of welcome. I may have seen some people say the textures are a little bit better. Would you agree or say it's false? The textures are the same, particularly the cockpit, because they haven't updated the cockpit. The cockpit is, you know, the same between the Neo and the CEO. Cockpits don't change. I would say the textures are the same. I've not seen any improvement per se. Nor do they actually, you know, change any of this stuff. It really is. The engine textures might be a bit better, but my PC's I run medium texture settings. so it's kind of difficult to tell. So the engine textures might be, I just probably can't tell because of my PC specs and the fact that I'm running medium textures, but the cockpit and everything else will be the same because there's no difference between the CEO and the Neo anyway in the cockpit, really. Will you try VATSIM one day for a stream? Yeah, we can do. I do want to start doing some events on VATSIM for sure, but I do really like Saint Tensions, so...
And I'm pleased to inform you that the use of electronic devices is now allowed.
My local area, I've downloaded 2 tasks for Mark with zoom level 18, 19 specific areas. Yeah, so my orthos are always generally zoom level 17, and then in ortho for XP 1.4 there's a setting where if it detects an airport within a 2 kilometer range, and you can adjust that. So I've got it set so within 2 kilometers of a airport that has an ICAO code, it will use zoom level 19. Is how I've got it set. So around the airport, it's the highest quality it can be. Everything else, zoom level 17. I think they have a new texture for the cockpit waiting for approval by Airbus made by Matt, so they could come one day. Oh wow, really? That would be fantastic. That would really be fantastic, yeah, absolutely. That'd be good. Now, I am using XP Realistic, but I have the sounds muted, so all the sounds you hear are part of the default Airbus, the default Tollis aircraft. I just have the effects, like the visual camera effects enabled, but the sounds are disabled for today's flight. Anthony, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Lee, no, I totally get it. Of course, for the price of the aircraft, they are some of the more expensive aircraft in the X-plane space. The textures could definitely do some work, same with the modeling. I totally agree. I think that's one of the drawbacks, and it holds some people back. Personally, for me, the visuals aren't a massive deal because the reason I use flight sim is, of course, you know, I'm training to be a real world pilot, so to me the systems of flight model is what's important. The weather, how it responds to that, is the important part. The visuals maybe not so much, but I totally get that for other people the visuals are quite important, so I think it would be good for them to be updated. You know, I know it's not Tollis's, it's not what they want to focus on, and I get it from their side as well. I think it would be really nice if they could maybe outsource it and outsource the modeling or the textures to, you know, maybe even someone like Flight Factor, Xcraft, whoever, those that we know are really good at that kind of stuff, because that would just, you know, it'd be the cherry on top for this aircraft. It really would. Hey Sid, welcome. How's it going, my friend? Are your nightlight downloads still working 12.3? Yes, my nightlight's still working 12.3, absolutely. And I am still using them. Yeah, if we go here, the passenger, yeah, see, yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. But here's the thing, I get that the quality in here is really not particularly great, but if I'm being honest, I don't spend enough time in the cabin. In fact, I don't spend any time in the cabin, realistically. You know, I'm sat in the cockpit, I'm doing the flying from the cockpit, so I get it. Personally, it doesn't bother me too much. A cabin doesn't bother me. There could be no cabin.
Industry 818, contact Bordeaux control on 125.7
Bordeaux control 125.7 at 9, Airbus Industry 818. But yeah, I get it. I do get it. Absolutely. I think the cockpit looks good. I think if the colours were just tweaked to be slightly more accurate, like be a bit lighter, be a bit grayer, that's all it needs, realistically. 12579 is what we need.
Airbus Industry 818, climb flight level 310.
Climb flight level 310, Airbus Industry 818. 310. 1257. Was it? 12579, yep. Auto control, Airbus Industry 818, climbing through flight level 201 for 310. Yeah, as I was saying, if there was no cabin, it wouldn't bother me too much at all. Because I'm sat in the cockpit, you know, that's
Industry
my, that's
818,
what I'm bothered about.
Bordeaux control, identified, bon à tram.
But, you know, it's just, we all have slightly, oh, hello. That's it behind us. They're just below us. Well, I don't see them. Yeah, we are now into default territory. Default signal
Airbus
territory.
Industry 818, Bordeaux control, expect the Abla 7 Romeo arrival. I'll call your descent in roughly 20 minutes.
Expect the Abla 7 Romeo arrival. Descent in around 20 minutes is perfectly fine. Airbus Industry 818. Alright. Yes, performance is important too, absolutely. I would rather have... One of the reasons I fly the Tollis quite a lot is also because the performance is so good. And, you know, I'm on a mid-range PC, I would say. So the optimization that Tollis has done makes a big difference, and things are just smoother, it runs better. I don't have as much VRAM issues, you know. So that's really, really nice. For sure. Gold Aviation, I've been surprised. The work on auto has been surprisingly increasing. Go on GitHub every now and then, I always find a recent version. Yes, yeah, the new forked version is been getting so many updates, and I'm not using it today because I didn't want any issues during the stream, just in case. But yeah, I'm still, you know, testing that and using it, and so far it's been pretty good. Yeah, auto is really nice. Yeah, David, that's a pretty good idea. Or maybe have it as an option in the ISCS. You can, in the A340 and the A330, you can actually disable the somewhere. You can disable the cabin. So, you know, maybe it's worth doing that, giving us a cabin that we can disable if we want to for performance. Personally, I would disable it. Like I said, I just don't spend time in the cabin at all. I'll take the extra FPS. Absolutely. Yep, improving on a very good baseline. Exactly. Is that traffic coming from Sane Tensions? No, so the traffic's coming from Traffic Global. What comes next from Tollis? Well, Tollis are working on the A350 version 2 in collaboration with Flight Factor, of course. And then they did say that they have a secret project in 2026. What that is, I have no idea. I am hoping for an A340-300 or an A330 CEO. I think those would be good, personally. Just got FS 2024, is it for real? You don't need to download any word updates. Yes, correct, it streams everything in. It streams everything. Yeah, like I said, I don't think the modelling, the textures, or the sounds are bad per se. For me, personally, and for what I use it for, they're good enough. But having said that, when thinking about the larger, you know, majority of the community, of course, there could be improvements. When you compare and when you look at something like the Flight Factor 777 V2, for example. But for me, my love of Tollis is the systems and the flight model. I love watching, you know, I watch a lot of like cockpit videos on YouTube from, you know, Flight Radar 24, Pilot's Eyes, whatever. And I love being able to replicate exactly what the real pilots are doing in the MCDU on the real aircraft, and being able to do it in Tollis. it's fantastic, you know, and everything's the exact same. It's great. Clouds look great, yeah, really, really nice. We'll probably actually turn the seatbelt signs off.
Airbus Industrie 818, contact Marseille Control on 128.85.
Marseille Control 128.85, Airbus Industry 818. Yeah, and like I said, the other thing with Toliss, ISCS works fantastically. It's super easy. The autosave works flawlessly. You know, that's the stuff that I actually care about. Who Cruise Alt 370? Why is it? Yeah, alright, that's fine. We don't want 370. 12885 for Marseille Control. Marseille Control, Airbus Industry 818, climbing through flight level 29884310.
Airbus Industry 818, Marseille Control, identify. Good afternoon.
Brilliant. So again, if any of you guys have just joined, full transparency, I did get the Airbus A320 CEO package completely for free from Toliss to stream for you guys. But a big thank you to them for providing it to the channel, providing an early copy as well, so I can stream for you guys. I believe the release date is currently this Friday on the xplane.org store for $30 US. Yeah, one for absolutely. I'm still in the phase of testing Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, and so far it's working well for me to a point where I can use it. And once I'm, 100% sure, I am going to be removing Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 from my hard drive, because that's currently about 700 or 800 gig, so it's a lot of space that I can get back. Right, there's our cruise altitude, flight level 310. Good stuff. No weather to show on the weather radar. It's a nice clear day. Now, I will leave it up to you guys. In fact, I will create a poll for our second flight. How do I create a poll? Here we are. For our second flight, should we do it live time, which would be night? It's currently dark in Europe. Or shall we leave it at daytime? Completely up to you. I'm going to add a poll. There we are, so we'll run that until we land. My XP12 uses 1.5 terabytes. Yeah. Yeah, I got a lot of orthos and stuff. I think I've got over 400 gigs of aircraft on its own. A load of scenery as well. Yes, I think all the aircraft that I fly regularly, other than the PMDG 737, are now 2024 compatible. Black Square just updated the Dukes, the Beechcraft Dukes for 2024 as well, which is fantastic. So I think everything that I fly, bar the 737 from PMDG, is now updated. So it's a decent time for me to move, I think. Just check my community folder, 934 gig. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of storage space. So we'll be sending shortly in 23 nautical miles. Let's go ahead and get the arrival weather data in. Just looking at how much SSD space I need for offline scenery in XP12. Around 2 terabytes all best show at Southern Footballs, US Orthos, Total Mexico, New Zealand scenery, US Spain. Yes, yeah, Orthos take a lot of space. A lot of space. I think my entire Orbex Chouette pack for Great Britain, for North, South and Central is almost 300 gig. It's, yeah. I have it all on an external drive though. Yes, exactly. Exactly. No streaming, it's always just there. I think the best way personally is get a huge external drive and stick everything on there. That way when you reinstall X-Plane or reinstall Windows on your PC, you don't lose it either. You know, you just reconnect your external drive and you're good to go. That's how I've got mine set up. In fact, I could probably show you. So, you can see here, I have Aerosoft 1, so everything from Aerosoft 1 that I've installed, so all the Aerosoft stuff I have is installed there. Orthos, I've got a bunch of Orthos here. I've got all my X-Plane scenery in here, so it's set up by developer. So we can go to Mango here, we can see the 2 Mango sceneries I have, and all I do is I make a shortcut, so right click, show more options, create a shortcut, and put the shortcut in custom scenery. Is the way I do it. And then if we go here, I've got even more. I've got my auto ortho, everything from Contrail, any manager, so everything from any manager, map enhancement. This I've got all my Orbex stuff here. I've got another set of orthos here, so I've got, these are all my Europe orthos. Europe and the US is in here, and then in my other folder is the rest of the world. And I've got Streamline here as well. So that's how I have everything, or everything on an external drive. How about X-Plane folders, community folder, external 4 terabyte? Yes, exactly. Yes, you can run map enhancement on an external drive, yeah. So my E drive here with Orbex and all that is a SSD, hence why I have Orbex stuff on here. For Orbex Chouette, because I mostly do a lot of flying in the UK, so that's my priority. On my D drive, which is another external, drive, I have some of my other orthos. This is a hybrid. This is an SSHD, and it works completely fine. You can see my storage here, almost full up on my C drive. Hence why I need to delete Microsoft Flight Sim 2020 and a lot of, there's another 2 terabyte gone there. This is another terabyte pretty much gone. Like 5 terabytes in total. Ridiculous. 32 gigs of RAM, yes, I would say 32 gigs of RAM is enough. But I think relatively soon we're going to start to need 64. So if you want a future-proof, you can get 64. If not, 32 should work just fine as well. Alright, almost ready to descend, so let's get this approach stuff in. For Microsoft Flight Sim 2024, you might want 64 to be fair. Yeah, exactly.
Airbus Industrie 818, Marseille Control, cleared ABLA 7 Romeo, arrival into Nice. When you're ready, descend, flight level 230.
Cleared the ABLA 7 Romeo, arrival into Nice, descend, flight level 230, Airbus Industrie 818. Alright, down to 230 we go. There we are, manage descent mode. And we'll get our minimums in here. My Orbex folder is just 560 gig. Yeah, I think mine's probably around the same. So it can pull ortho sceneries from hybrid HUD as you fly with no stutters. For me, yes. But I don't have autos for large areas generally in one, you know, in one spot. My autos are generally one tile, maybe 2 or 3 for an airport, and then the rest is default. As you can see, in fact, let me try something. So I can show you what tiles I have here. So you can see how I have my tiles, I've basically just the airport. Then in between, during cruise, I don't really have anything, because if I want to, I will use auto to fill in all the gaps. Sometimes I'm not really too bothered, so I just leave it default like I have done today. So I don't have generally a lot coming through. So if you have like an entire area, like an entire country, it might struggle, because that's a lot of data. But for me, you know, just a few tiles, for me, it works perfectly fine. But of course, UK, the UK, because I have almost show Earth, and that's the entire country, I have that on the SSD. Auto and map enhancement struggle on a hybrid though, so I have those on the SSD. Okay, minimum.
Airbus Industry 818, descend. Flight level 160.
Descend flight level 160, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, further descent then to 160. So yeah, that's how I will have to do a video on my entire X-plane setup and how I have things personally set up. After years of switching things about, you know, I think I finally found the way which works for me. Because I showed you those 2 external drives, right? I have all my scenery on there. So if I wanted to reinstall Windows or reinstall X-plane or whatever, all I have to do is remake all of those shortcuts, which is a 5-minute job, and everything's there. I don't even have to go onto websites to re-download stuff. I don't need to re-download stuff from the store. It's just there, ready, you know. Makes everything super easy. We're just heading over Marseille. I believe it's Marseille Airport down there, I'll presume. And you'll see our lovely autos once we get closer to Nice. We'll have some nice autos going. How is the poll going? So far, everyone wants a night flight. I thought so. Yes, I to be fair, I would like a night flight as well. I think it'll be a nice contrast. So we'll do that, but we'll check that again when we land. Descending nicely here. Again, VNAV, LNAV, absolutely perfect, and this aircraft never had any issues with it. Another huge advantage when it comes to Tollis. I have OneDrive.
Airbus Industry 818, descend. Flight level 120.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Descend flight level 120. Airbus Industry 818. Well, I mean, as you can see, we actually started our descent very slightly late compared to our top of descent point, and we are right on profile, right on speed, absolutely perfect. Totally very stable. Yes, exactly. These are the little things which is what makes me really enjoy Tollis. I very rarely have issues with Tollis, if not ever, you know. Performance is great, very stable. If you do get a CTD, the autosave works just simply amazing. It works really, really well. You know, you've got all the ground services, the payload in here. You've even got destination meta here, as you can see, super useful. Sound, I do have the 3D sound fading on. Joystick, so you can change your... I think this method of doing it is really nice as well, with the detents. It makes this really easy. There's a lot of setting up you could do. Yeah, like I said, I had one CTD the other day in this aircraft, but nothing to do with the aircraft when I checked the log. It was lossless scaling caused an issue. Interestingly, it was right around this waypoint. So I did this flight the other day as a test flight, and it was right around here that lossless scaling decided to crash and take X-plane down with it. Yeah, autosave is fantastic. It saved me multiple times, and for some reason, autosave on the flight back to 777 doesn't work for me at all. And the Zebo autosave for me is it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't. But the Zebo is very stable for me as well, so the Zebo rarely crashes for me. Hopefully we can get a nice
Airbus Industry
landing with this
818. Descend. Flight level 080.
Descend flight level 080, Airbus Industry 818. Finally, I can install the FF320. I can deinstall the FF320 and can fly jet blobs. Yeah, exactly. French action, yes, absolutely. French action with same intentions because we are currently in France. Skylar, welcome. How's it going, my friend? I see Toliss CEO. Welcome, how's it going? Yes, Toliss A320 CEO today. We'll be doing our second leg later on. Now, just wait till you guys see Just Sim Nice. It is beautiful, especially at night. Especially at night, it's really beautiful. Oh my god, look at my frames. Not good. I think something is loading something in the background. It'll recover shortly. This is where there might even be... Oh. I think there's a issue with the scenery around here or something. Because I had this the other day when I had my test flight. Which is what caused it to crash. Where frames just drop off in this particular area. And then it fixes itself later on. Obviously not an issue with the aircraft. There it is. See, back to normal now. Very weird issue in this area. Weather radar works. Yes, weather radar does work. Not much weather to look at the minute though, but yes, it does work. Yeah, weird issue in that area. No idea why it does that. Did it the other day as well. But yes, weather radar does work. I tested it on a flight the other day, and it worked perfectly fine, as expected. Do you know when Toliss released stable version for their Airbus fleet? I have no idea, unfortunately. I don't know. I have the same issue when I fly over Europe. I get it at particular areas of Europe, not necessarily the
Airbus
entirety
Industry
of Europe.
818.
Yeah, Europe is,
Contact nice approach on 120.16.
Europe is very harsh on FPS. Most likely because of how, you know, congested Europe is in general. Lots of big cities very close to each other, and big airports very close to each other. Nice approach saying 12016. Nice approach, Airbus Industry 818, descending through flight level 1384080. Absolutely, yeah, dodging thunderstorms. I was hoping
Airbus
we have
Industry 818, Nice
some bad
approach
weather for today's
identified.
flight,
Good
but
afternoon.
there you go.
Expect the ILS Yankee runway 4 left approach into Nice.
Oh, they're changing our arrival. I expect the ILS Yankee runway 4 left approach into Nice. Airbus Industry 818. All right, well we have the ILS now, I guess. for the 4 left. Looks like the wind's
Airbus
changed.
Industry 818, ILS runway 4 left approach into Nice is correct. Expect the ABLA 7 Romeo arrival.
ILS 4 left approach into Nice. Expect the Alba 7 Romeo arrival. Airbus Industry 818. Not sure why it's telling me the arrival, which I'm currently on, but there you go. So we're now switching to 4 left. There is a slight tailwind, but I suppose this ILS is slightly better than the RNAV approach in terms of safety, so I guess that's why they probably have switched. Not that the RNAV approach is dangerous, it is just slightly more challenging. So they want the ILS, what is it, ILS Yankee.
Airbus Industry 818 descend flight level 050, turn left, heading 095 vectors for the ILS runway 4 left approach.
Descend flight level 050, turn left heading 0905, vectors for the ILS 4 left approach. Airbus Industry 818. Alright, we'll go open descent, get the landing lights on, seatbelt signs as well. So, change the arrival in here. Oh no, wrong one. ILS Yankee 4 left, Alpha 7 Romeo, moves to... Right. There we are. And then we can get fixed, so...
Airbus Industry 818, turn right heading 125.
Right heading 125, Airbus Industry 818. Right,
Airbus
so we're at
Industry
vector
818, affirm right heading 125.
So, then 04 left. Now, the track is 042 for this ILS approach. If we add 180 to that, we get a radial of 222 degrees, 10 nautical mile fixed ring, and now we have a lovely radial extended center line, as you can see, the blue line, and a 10 nautical mile fixed ring around the threshold of that runway. Brilliant. That's exactly what I wanted. Now the new minima are going to be 311, and I believe we can do a
Airbus Industry 818, 13 miles from Charlie Foxtrot, 0 Lima Yankee. Turn left heading 085, descend altitude 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS runway 4 left approach.
Turn left heading 085, descend altitude 4000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS 4 left approach, Airbus Industry 818. Right, we're going to get speed brake out. How far out are we? 26 nautical miles, 9,000 feet. Okay, that should be fine. And I wanted, yes, 311 MDA. Let's just check our landing and see if we can do a flaps 3 landing. Overweight. We're not burnt off enough fuel yet. Come on, I just need to lose another little bit more fuel to lose. Alarm the approach. We might be high, I might ask on orbit, but let's see. Have we got orthos? No, we still don't have our orthos. They'll come pretty soon. Now will it let us? Flaps 3. Overweight. Need to burn some more fuel. Should be fine, but we are very close to our maximum landing weight. If not, we'll call it a go around probably. Burn some fuel. Local QNH is going to be 1012, so we'll put it onto that. Okay, we are below the glide slope. That's good. Should intercept that fairly soon. There it is.
Airbus
low
Industry
auto brake.
818, contact Nice Tower on 118.7.
Nice Tower 118.7. Airbus Industry 818. Alright, 1187 as we intercept the
Airbus
localizer.
Industry 818, say again your message, please.
Yeah, I'm just gonna switch frequency. 1187. Nice Tower, Airbus Industry 818 established on the localizer runway 04 left. Okay, we're established now. Slowing down to the approach speed.
Airbus Industry 818 Nice Tower identified.
Okay, now can we... Why are you still saying still overweight? We are not overweight. There, alright. So... yeah, that's gonna be... What we'll do is we'll do... Brake medium, auto brake 3 is what we'll do. So... Config 3, medium auto brake, config 3 on here. There it is. We're going to be intercepting the glide slope here shortly. Yeah, we have some orthos there now. As you can see where my ortho tile starts. Alrighty. The go-around altitude is, just in case, going to be 3,000. So as soon as we're... Alright, we are on glide slope, so autopilot 2, we get Cat 3 dual. 3,000 feet is our glide slope. Is our go around, sorry. We'll go flaps 1.
Speed check.
Alright,
Flaps
that
1.
was a lot to do in a very short amount of time. Alright, let's see if I can get the ground frequency preset here. 121705. We don't have landing clearance yet. 705. Alright, that's ready. Alright, now we got some lovely orthos as we
Airbus
fly over
Industry
cans.
818 Nice Tower. Winds 300 at 3. Runway 4 left. Cleared to land.
Ooh, we're overspeeding there almost. Clear to land runway 4 left, Airbus Industry A18. Absolutely, you're correct. FO should normally be handling comms, but I do quite enjoy the challenge of doing both. Let's try and slow down here. We're very fast. So I'll get a gear down early. Lovely ortho for XP 1.4. Lovely coastlines here. Okay, now we can go flaps 2.
Speed check. Flaps 2.
Get some more drag. And we should be fine here. That was, we were quite quick. Let the speed get away from us there. And flaps 3.
Speed check. Flaps 3.
I do use sim heaven, yes. So the buildings, trees, etc. you can see are sim heaven.
1,000.
Alright, stow the speed brakes now and we'll arm them. We should be good to go here. Right, we'll disconnect the autopilot. Right, my aircraft. Flaps 3 landing. So flaps 3 will be more prone to floating since we have less drag.
500.
So keep that in mind as we come into land here. So nice on the low glides, on the glide slope. Approach speed looking good.
100 above.
Nice and stable. 2 white, 2 red on the pappies. Keep it like that.
300. Minimum.
Looking for 700 feet on the vertical speed there for our descent rate is what we want for a
200.
3-degree glide slope. Ever so slightly high, but not too bad.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. Retard. 10. 5.
Right, hold it off, hold it off. Told you it's floaty. Just about got it down. Lower the nose. Reverses out. See, flaps 3 can get quite floaty. Right, disconnect the auto brake. Manual brake in, stir the reverse.
Airbus Industry 818, welcome to Nice. Contact ground on 121.705.
Contact ground 121.705. Thank you very much, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, and you can see this lovely scenery. I'll give you a quick showcase because it's a really nice scenery. It really is. From Just Sim, just updated for XP12. We're off the runway now, so we'll stop here. Alright, so got the TCAS on standby. Lights off. Strobes off. Master switch on for the APU. Alright. Ground then. Where did we vacate? Golf 1. Nice ground, correction, Nice ground, Airbus Industry 818. Vacated the runway at Golf 1, ready to taxi to the parking. Restore the flaps and the speed brake. There's a Cessna, just casually rolls by.
Airbus Industry 818, Nice ground. Taxi to gate 39er A via Golf Tango. Have a good day.
Taxi to gate 39 Alpha via Golf then Tango, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, that is actually a remote stand over here. I think... Are you turning? Because we want to be on this taxiway. You are. Okay. I can show you my loss to scaling settings in a second. Nice isn't pronounced like Nice in English. Yeah, I know. I said it wrong because the ATC said it wrong. The ATC keeps saying nice. And then it yeah, messed with my brain a little bit. I ended up saying nice as well rather than Nice. Yeah, this is a very nice scenery. And it looks even better at night. The night lighting is fantastic. So we're going to 39 Alpha, which is just over here on the left. It's remote stand. Referring to HC, yeah. That is something maybe they could take a look at, hopefully. To pronounce that correctly. Beautiful rendition of Nice. It does come with an ortho patch, if I remember right. It comes with an ortho patch as well. 39 Alpha is this one. Lights off, we'll turn in then. Should have a marshaller. Do indeed have a marshaller. Alright. And then what we'll do is we're going to shut down, take a look at the replay, and then we'll use, in fact we'll put it in turnaround state, switch the engines, because we're going to use the CFMs for the second leg. Alright, we'll stop there then. Bleed can go on, that can go off. And we will kill the engines. There it is. Alright, so I'll end the flight on Volanta here. And there we are, all parked up. Let's go ahead and if I just put those like that so that they, what they'll do is they'll extend, as you can see, and they'll actually look correct in the replay. Otherwise in the replay they're not extended. And we'll take a look at the replay. Let's do that. New replay performance is fantastic. Look at that, no lag or stuttering during the replay. All right, let's have a look at this replay of this landing then. As I predicted, a bit floaty due to flaps 3, less drag, so it's very easy to float it, but well within the touchdown zone still, so perfectly legal. Nice reverse sounds. Right, take a look at this. Look at the lovely vegetation here as part of the airport. One of the nicer payware airports that I've seen from Just Sim. Bit of an early flare for flaps 3. But nice and smooth, nice and safe. That's what's important. Beautiful. Nice reverse sounds. I do like that. The jet blast. Got a nice tower view here as well. I'll do a quick, I'll show you the airport quickly, of course, not the subject of the stream today, but while we're here, I will show you guys if you are looking to pick it up, because it's a very nice airport. Yeah, there we are. Within the touchdown zone, but a little bit floaty. Not too bad, though. Good stuff. Nice. Alrighty. So, let's do this, because you can just do this on the fly. So, if we change the livery to... So, of course, I've got all my add-on liveries here, but you do also have these liveries here. All the ones that start with F, with their reg here, are liveries that come with the CEO package. And this PWG comes with the Neo pack as default. So let's do the CFM house. Shall we do a modern livery, actually? Maybe something... No, we'll do this one, I think. CFM. So we'll apply the changes. There we are. We'll switch the engine as well. So if I put this in auto, it should use the Toliss configuration to switch to the CFM engines, as you can see. And you can take a look at those. Same sort of quality as the IAEs, as you can see. Alright, so let's we'll get the brake fan on so it can cool down, and we'll prepare for our second flight then. So let's head on to SimBrief and file the flight plan. Alright, so we're going to be same call sign, Airbus Industry 818. This time we're doing Nice to Zurich. It'd be A320-200. There's currently no variants here on SimBrief for the Tollis, for the CEO, but that will be coming, I'm pretty sure, because someone has gone and done all the others. So the A319 has the Tollis here, Rodeo 314, so I'm sure they'll do the 320 CEO as well. Block time 1 hour 20 gives us a 50-minute flight time roughly, so we'll generate that. All right, we'll open Navigraph and take a look at that. Take a look at that routing, and then we'll set off for this second flight then. All right. Oh, IFR conditions in Zurich. Take that for the ILS. All right, so we will change the time to live as well in a second here. So here we are, runway 04 right for our departure on the AMA 7 Charlie departure. Actually going, where's Monaco? Somewhere over here, isn't it? If I remember right. But yeah, should get maybe a decent view of Monaco. Oh, here's Monaco. So actually passing right over Monaco. And then heading up north over the these mountainous areas. And unfortunately it'll be night, so we won't see much of it. On the Dopey to Gulf arrival for the ILS runway 34 into Zurich, where we do have the Aerosoft scenery for it as well. Good stuff. So, don't need that anymore. Let's set up for the flight. We'll get Volanta going. We'll get my tablet ready. Lots of GA traffic here. Coming in and out. Volanta won't connect. I'll have to restart the sim here, I think. Otherwise Volanta isn't going to connect. Volanta only connects if you start Volanta before the flight. So, what I'm going to do here, real quick, is I will just restart the sim. I don't know why Volanta does that. It's just the way Volanta is. It doesn't want to connect. If you start Volanta after X-Plane, it just doesn't seem to want to connect. I don't know why. I shouldn't have closed it. So let me restart the sim here real quick. So I'm still here. I'm just gonna so it doesn't show my screen while I restart X-Plane. But I'll just do this real quick, and then I'll show you the. I haven't forgot. I will show you the scenery as well. So let's restart X-Plane here. Might be worth it. Nice restart anyway, since it'll help us a little bit with the performance. But I'm still here. I will switch it back to the main screen as soon as it loads. It's just because X-Plane on the main menu showcases your full name, and which is slightly annoying. But yeah, so far happy with the add-on pack. Nice to have the entire Airbus fleet now. Or the entire Airbus A320 family fleet inside of X-Plane with Tollis. Really, really nice. Okay. So we'll bring this back now. All right. Hello. So 320 in the CFM house livery at Nice. Let's go to a different gate. How about that? Let's go over here. So we'll go now real world and time, and we'll go real weather, real time. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. All right. So we'll start the flight. Now, in the meantime, I'll change the header at the top there. So we're doing to Zurich. Just like that. Alrighty. Just heard about a very close call at Nice last night. An A320 from Tunis flew 50 foot over an EasyJet A320 lined up for takeoff. Really? Wow. Not good. The weather in Nice yesterday was not great at all. In fact, if any of you follow Formula One, Carlos Sainz, after his fantastic podium in Azerbaijan, and Charles Leclerc flew back, obviously private, due into Nice, closest to Monaco, of course, where I'm pretty sure both of them live. But they did indeed get diverted to somewhere in Italy, so they then went and rented a van together, and Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc drove to Monaco in the end in a rented van, which I thought was quite funny. So yeah, weather in Nice was not good. Plenty of diverts. I'm sure it would have been IFR, potentially even Cat 3 conditions. So yeah, not good. I'm sure there'll be a report on that. I'll have to look that up. So we'll just let explain load here. We'll go on for our second flight. Should be a nice night flight, actually. In other news, Gatwick has been approved for its second runway. Of course, at the minute, it does technically have 2 runways, just both can't be used at the same time due to how close they are to each other. Gatwick is, I think it still is, the busiest single runway airport in the world. But it is now indeed getting a second runway. I think they'll probably turn the smaller runway into a taxiway, which is what they pretty much use it for anyway. And then build a parallel runway is the plan, I believe. But yeah, that'll be good. It'll increase their capacity quite a lot. All right. Here we are. And right, yeah, so using my nightlight mod, of course. And I guess since it's nighttime, we can show you the night lighting at this airport, because it is really quite nice. I mean, look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. With the interior nicely modeled as well. Really, really nice. I think they've done a great job with this. I'll quickly just turn it to temporarily to daytime, so I can show you the scenery real quick, because it is a really nice scenery. If you are looking for a nice scenery, as you can see, really, really nice. I don't know what's going on with the lighting at the minute. Did the weather change and it's now like, oh, nope. There it is. Lighting sorts itself out eventually. Yeah, exactly. The lights on the terminal is gorgeous. A320 pushing back here. But yeah, it's a really, look at the modeling here. This is the fire station. Really, really nice. They've done a great job with this. The vegetation, the details everywhere. It looks really nice. Of course, there is the interior here. Again, I'm not usually too bothered by interiors, but it does look nice when you're sat out here on the tarmac looking in. Very, very nice scenery from Jussim. Lots of little details all over the place. Nice ground textures as well, as you can see. All good stuff. I think the vegetation has been done really well here, as you can see. Vegetation everywhere. Little bushes all around the airport. Great, great stuff. Really, really nice from them. And the surrounding area in general is just a lovely, lovely surrounding area. Look at this. I mean, I've got my own custom orthos, but it just looks fantastic. Alright, time to turn it back to nighttime then. Yeah, the blue lights on the terminal. Simply amazing. One of the reasons I saw the pictures on the store and was like, oh, that looks good. That looks real good. So, yeah, there it is. We can see it over there. Just these red lights from these jetways is kind of annoying at times, but there you go. Anyway, we'll get the aircraft all started up then, ready to go, just like we did before. I'm just going to confirm we're using CFMs. We are indeed. And we'll get the dome light on. There we are. I might disconnect the jetway just because of that red light flashing. It's kind of annoying. Right, Vlaanta will now connect so I can track the flight. I'm thinking about switching back to LFBO for a little bit and trying that out because it doesn't have that issue. Same tensions, we'll get that going. Alrighty. And same tensions is now ready to go as well. Alrighty. Everything up here looks good. We'll go here to the you know what, I'm gonna disconnect that jetway because it's annoying me. If it actually disconnects. Nope, you don't want to disconnect. It must be using auto gate. If I turn the beacon on, it'll disconnect hopefully. There it goes, alright. Yep, don't want you. That red flashing. just annoying, to be honest. Alright, better. So, we'll just do what we did before. We'll request a flight plan. And it will load it all up. Off to Zurich now. Should be a nice flight actually. Line IRS, wind, we'll request that. So flight level 300, I'll just confirm that's correct, which it is. Cost index of 18, also correct. So departing at 04 right, which is the parallel runway to the one we landed on. This is X-Plane 12. Then we're going to be an Irma 7 Charlie departure. That's looking good. Now, into Zurich, we're going to be the ILS runway 34 on the Dopey-2 Golf. There it is, and that's going to be via Gepal. So we'll insert that. And that all looks good to me. Init B is set, as you can see. And we are ready to get our clearance. So, what is the ATIS? 129605. 129605.
Read back all runway and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Information Sierra.
Nice Côte d'Azur Airport. Information Sierra. 2000 Zulu. Arriving runway 4 left. Departing runway 4 right. Wind calm. Cav OK. Temperature 22. Dew point 10. QNH 1012. Transition level 80. Advise on course heading, altitude, and if traffic service is requested.
OPL, this is X-Plane 12.
Runway and hold
X-Plane
short
12 by
instructions.
Laminar Research.
Advise on initial contact. You have information Sierra.
Alright, now we will go to clearance 12178. 12178. Alrighty, we'll get our clearance then. What stand are we at? 48 Charlie, alright. Nice clearance, Airbus Industry 818, stand 48 center. Information Sierra on board, aircraft type Airbus A320, request IFR clearance to Zurich, please.
1 second while he grabs the paperwork.
CPU is struggling a tiny bit on the, no, the GPU is struggling.
Airbus Industry 818, information Sierra is current. Cleared to Zurich via the ERME 7 Charlie departure runway 4 right. Initial climb to 4000. Departure on 120.16 squawk 6617.
Clear to Zurich via the MS7 Charlie departure runway 4 right, initial climb to 4000, departure on 120.16 squawk 6617, Airbus Industry 818. OPL, this is on mobile. It's not technically the same version, but X-Plane is on mobile, yeah.
Airbus Industry 818, read back correct. Contact ground on 121.705 when ready.
Ground on 121.705 when ready, Airbus Industry 818. Right. Basilis, is your Night Lighting mod available for download? It is, yes. It's still available for download on the X-Plane forums. It's also available on Streamline, which is a freeware application to download freeware add-ons for X-Plane and Microsoft License. Could you turn down the ATC a bit too loud? Yeah, absolutely. Not to worry. Headset, I will turn them down slightly. There we are. Okay. So, cleared to 4000. Departure 12016. I like to put that in my COM2 standby. 12016. Squawk 6617. So we'll put that in. And we should be pretty much good to go then. Let's get the APU going. That is a probe heat. So we'll get that on. Fuel pumps can come on as well. How long we got on the IRS? 3 minutes to go. There we are. Okay, the APU coming to life there. APU's a bit quiet, personally. Yeah, really happy with this. This Nice scenery from JustSim. I'm really glad that JustSim has seemingly come back to X-Plane development and released Hamburg and Nice for X-Plane 12, updated them. You do get a discount if you have the X-Plane 11 version as well. Both of which are really nice sceneries. I did pick up both while they were on sale. Do you know how to turn off the horrible reflection during the night? On the windshield here? Yes, you can just go here to reflection, and you can either, so you can change how much you want the reflection, you can drag it all the way to the left to turn it off. I like to have it on just slightly like that, or you can just use this and turn it off entirely, but I like to keep the reflections on for the displays. Around here generally for me works pretty well. Yeah, the reflections are pretty low quality, but I still like the look of them, at least. Alright, on APU, we've got APU bleed, we'll get rid of the external power, and we'll close all the doors now. So we'll get everything closed here. Arm and cross check. As the IRS aligns. Let's get better pushback on its way.
Ground to cockpit. Tower is driving up.
And we're talking to ground. Tower's 1187, so let's get that in. 1187. Let's talk to. We'll get our pushback clearance shortly here. Yes, David, I agree. The flyby sounds are so good. I can't wait till I can stick COSP back on this. Yeah, absolutely. But you know, once you have COSP and CARDA, I really enjoy these Toliss Airbuses. I really, really do. Just fantastic. Especially considering I have a, you know, my aerospace engineering background. I really appreciate the system's depth. You know, it's fantastic.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Okay, so they are connecting. Let's get our clearance for push then. Nice ground, Airbus Industry 818, request push and start.
Airbus Industry 818, pushback approved, face south.
Pushback approved, face south, Airbus Industry 818. Okay, so let's tell better pushback where we want to go.
Cockpit. Please show me where we want to go.
Which is going to be here, south on Charlie.
Now connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Right, we'll get the beacon on and release the parking brake, lock the door.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Now, I've not actually flown this with these CFMs yet, so I'm going to be hearing these sounds for the first time with you guys. We didn't do our performance, I forgot. We'll do that when we once we push back. I forgot to do our takeoff performance, but that's fine. Let's go ahead and start the engines. We'll start number 1 first again. We'll end that poll. 37 votes. Thank you for those of you who voted. Always happy to take on your input for these streams. Right, so I think we got a good start on number 1. We do. Let's start number 2. That's a nice screenshot right there. What a lovely scenery to fly into.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
We set the parking brake.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
I do like night flights. Just seeing the beacon light flash and everything. Superb. Get flaps 1. So, good start on both engines. For arm speed brakes, we've got flaps 1. APU can go off. And I will get the light off as well, the dome light. Alrighty.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time on other side flight.
We'll get a bit of flood in, but not too much. Just a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Nice. Exactly. No orthos needed at night. I can't wait to overfly Monaco. Should look pretty cool. Right, they're away and they're showing us the pin. Alright, so now I will get the predict wind shear and the weather radar on. Alrighty. Let's do the performance then, because I forgot. So if we go here, takeoff perf, aircon on, flex takeoff, plenty of runway. So let's go take off uplink. It is going to be, what's the wind? 320 at 7. Flaps 1. And we'll get our taxi clearance in the meantime. Nice ground, Airbus Industry 818, ready to taxi.
Airbus Industry 818, runway 4 right taxi, via Charlie, uniform, Alpha, Alpha 1, cross runway 4 left, then Alpha 2, Whiskey, Whiskey 3.
Runway 4 right, taxi via Charlie, uniform, Alpha, Alpha 1, cross runway 4 left, then Alpha 2, Whiskey, Whiskey 3, Airbus Industry 818. Okay, let's figure out that taxi clearance. So, Charlie initially. Charlie, then uniform, so second right. Charlie, uniform, Alpha, Alpha 1, alright, got it. So we get the lights on here. Strobes will go in auto, just in case we forget. They're not going to be on, obviously, we're not on the runway, but I believe it's as soon as we leave the ground, so as soon as the weight on wheel switch deactivates, the strobe lights will turn on in the auto position. So I believe the procedure is to basically leave that in auto, just in case pilots forget. But normally you know, put it in the on position for takeoff. So we'll taxi here. We'll go auto brake max. Off we go. So it's going to be second right. And the other thing I will do, because obviously the cabin. Oh no, they fixed it. The cabin lights do automatically dim. Brilliant. Oh, get a bit more power in here. Oh, the CFM sound nice. Maybe a bit high-pitched for my liking.
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome aboard this flight to Zurich on behalf of Airbus Industry. We are delighted to have you with us today.
X-Plane at night looks beautiful. It really does.
And our first officer is Nigel. Joining me in the cabin are my wonderful colleagues, Emma, Lucas, Sophie, and Matt.
So we're going to take this right here.
Now, let's go over some important safety information.
So an aircraft lands there.
Ensure your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap.
Tell you what, I hadn't flown to Nice much, if at all, before I got the scenery. Because by default, of course, you get the really old Aerosoft Nice scenery, which is super old and looks pretty pretty bad. But with this updated Just Sim scenery, it's a beautiful airport to fly into and out of, both at night and during the day. And of course, Nice approach is beautiful anyway, especially if you get the RNAV for the runway 22s. Yeah, said the same, absolutely. Of course, I am running my own nightlight mod as well, so the nightlights off in the distance there are brighter and different colours than normal. The default X-Plane night lighting for the sceneries, like cities and stuff, are a bit too orange in my opinion, a bit dim, compared to what I've seen during my own night flying experience. Of course, the colours and the brightness vary across the world, so it's difficult to get the night lighting to look exactly how it might look in your region, so I kind of just took a balance and took what looks good, in my opinion. So we're going to go to the end here and then make a left and cross the runway. I do wish for sane tensions it gave progressive taxi, because sometimes you get really long taxi instructions, and I'm pretty sure we wouldn't be cleared to cross the runway straight away. I'm pretty sure in real life you'll get the clearance up to here before this runway. We contact tower, cross the runway, because tower is realistically the only well, ground can't clear us across a runway in real life, it's my understanding. But I don't see anything on the approach anyway. We've already been cleared to cross, so we will do that. We'll get the strobes on for as we cross the runway. You can see them there. Yes, Beyond ATC does that, yeah. So that's one of the things I think St. Intentions could potentially improve, is the way in which we get taxi instructions. So now, do we need to take a right? Alpha 1 Alpha 2 whiskey. Yes, we do need to take a right, okay. It'll be interesting if Beyond ATC ever comes to X-Plane, because we can get a real comparison then. At the minute, I haven't really looked into Beyond ATC because it doesn't work for X-Plane, and I'm not paying 2 subscriptions at the same time. So St. Intentions for me works, it runs on both sims, so. Okay, one thing I think we also forgot is to set our trim, so we should probably do that. 0.6 up. There it is. We'll ping the cabin. They are ready. Takeoff config comes back normal. Okay. Oh, I see. Maybe I'll try it then for one-off purchase, but I think the you need to pay more for the premium voices, don't you? I believe. Because the default voices from what I've heard sound very AI.
Contact tower on 118.7, safe flight.
Tower on 118.7, Airbus Industry 818. We'll come up to the whole point here. 04 right. Right, we'll stop it there. We'll contact tower 1187. And I'll get my departure frequency in the standby ready to go. One 2016, alright. Nice Tower, Airbus Industry 818, holding short runway 4 right, ready for departure.
Airbus Industry 818, Nice Tower, runway 04 right, winds 300 at 3, cleared for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, runway 4 right, Airbus Industry 818. You can see there's an aircraft on final there, but they're about 7 miles out, so we do have plenty of time. So we'll get the landing lights on. Now we should have, in theory, turned our strobes off as we got off the off 4 left and we were taxiing 24 right, but there you go. What a departure, headed straight for the hills over there that you can't see. Do I see that aircraft on a final approach? I do, vaguely, but we have plenty of time. There'll be a rolling takeoff here. Alright, so we'll start the clock. 50%. Stable. And we'll go to flex. There it is.
Thrust set.
CFM sounds aren't bad. A bit more bass would be nice, I think, but not bad for CFM sounds. 80 knots.
100 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive climb.
What's the time? Go up. The CFM sounds are noticeably louder. Make a right turn here. Very
Airbus
sporty
Industry
departure.
818, contact departure on 120.16.
Contact departure 120.16, Airbus Industry 818. Right, once I level off here, I'll go to climb thrust and contact departure. Right, we'll go climb thrust now. Okay, 120.16 departure. Nice departure, Airbus Industry 818, climbing through altitude 3000 for 4000.
Airbus Industry 818, Nice departure identified. Climb via the seat.
Speed check.
Can't be this
Flash
Airbus
0.
Industry 818. Okay, so we cleared up to flight level 100.
Airbus Industry 818, confirm your last transmission.
Climb via the SID, Airbus Industry 818. Right, flaps are up, gears up, spoilers are disarmed. We leave Nice there behind us. Nope, not what I wanted to do. Pretty interesting departure here. We'll get the autopilot going. Is that Monte Carlo? I'm just looking on my map now. I think so Monte Carlo is approximately over there. I think it's that. But we are going to end up flying right over it anyway. So around here is where we're going to overfly it. As you can see here. So as we make this left turn out over here, roughly, we'll overfly Monte Carlo there. About 45 degrees to our left. I believe it is that, yeah. I only know it's F1, yeah. Yeah, exactly. Alright, flight level 100 is the top altitude for now. For this departure.
Airbus Industry 818, climb flight level 270.
Climb flight level 270, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, well ATC are going to override that, which is good for us. So 270, open climb. And I want to get those cabin lights off. There it is. So yeah, we'll be overflying
Airbus Industry
Monte Carlo
818,
here.
maintain flight level 270.
Flight level 270, Airbus Industry 818. Nice. Beautiful. Have to try it during the day in a 172, yeah, absolutely. There's Nice Airport where we took off from. All these mountains to avoid. Right, we're above 10,000, so all the lights can go off. That is Monte Carlo beneath us, Monaco. Actually, no, not yet. That's not Monaco. Monaco is here. This is Monaco. Not that we can see much, but there you go. Oh yes, look, you can see the chicane where they come down the straight here. Let me see. Is this? Am I looking at the correct thing? I think that's the hairpin. Maybe. I'm not sure. I can't tell.
Airbus Industrie 818, climb flight level 300.
Climb flight level 300, Airbus Industrie 818. Sim crash fly, no worries, thank you very much. I'm glad to see some screenshots. Are we flying over Charles Leclerc crying about strategy in his house? Well, I don't know if you saw, but they actually got diverted to somewhere in Italy yesterday. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz flying together. Bad weather in Nice caused a divert, so they ended up renting a van and driving down to Monaco yesterday. It was pretty funny. It was on a Charles Leclerc story on Instagram. Yeah, there's the airport. Oh, as we bank to the left so we can't actually see it. There it is. And that's Cannes. As we head over the mountains, the lights are going to be sparse.
Control on 127.905.
Marseille Control 127.905. Airbus Industrie 818. Off we go to Zurich then. We've got the lovely Aerosoft scenery for Zurich. 127.905. I've not actually seen what this scenery looks like at night, so that'll be interesting to see as well. We'll take a look at it during the day as well, just to show you guys. Marseille Control, Airbus Industrie 818, climbing through flight level 186.430. Bit difficult to read the PFD at times. Alrighty, so we're heading north now.
Airbus Industrie 818, Marseille Control identified. Buonasera.
Good stuff. I think a nice wing view on the left here will look good. Slowest corner in F1, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Not much to look out the window for this night flight. For those of you interested in F1, the race yesterday was quite an interesting one in Baku. A little bit boring at times, not much happening, but it was total domination by Max Verstappen. Rare mistake from Piastri. I was very very sad to see that. Jumped the start, went into anti-stall, got going again, crashed into a wall. Rare mistakes from Piastri. But I am rooting for Piastri this year for the championship, although in all honesty I don't mind who wins the championship as long as we get some good fair racing this season. But I think it is between the McLaren boys, and we can't count out Max Verstappen. I've seen F1 since 1988, yeah. Wow, long time. Not a mistake, just keeping it fail, something McLaren. Yeah. You know, I was saying that to my friends yesterday. Yeah, I said the same thing. Absolutely. Hence why I'm rooting for Piastri. I think Piastri has the better, more world champion-like attitude. He's calm, he's cool, collected. Like I said, yesterday was a rare mistake for Piastri. I was almost in disbelief when I saw him crash into the wall, because it's just not something we would normally see from Piastri. But I think Piastri's got the, you know, world champion attitude. They all make mistakes. You know, we saw Max spin a rare mistake in at Silverstone. Max makes mistakes as well, but he's so quick in that car as well. Carlos Sainz podium, incredible stuff. Actually had really good pace throughout the race as well. I mean, Williams, you know, Baku is going to be a pretty decent
Airbus
track for them.
Industry
You know, low
818,
downforce.
Marseille Control. Expect the door P2 Golf arrival. I'll have you descending in about 20 minutes.
P2 Golf arrival. Descent in about 20 minutes is perfectly fine. Airbus Industry 818. Yeah, Piastri. I think Lando at times has more pace, just raw pace. I think Lando has more pace
Airbus
at times.
Industry 818, understood. Descend as requested when ready. Continue on current heading and flight level until further instructions.
I think Lando does have a bit more raw pace, but I think Piastri is slightly smarter. He's smarter with his overtakes, he's smarter with his tactics. You know, I mean, look at Jeddah. When Lando was trying to overtake Lewis, Lando was overtaking in the first DRS zone, which gave Lewis the second DRS through the main pit straight. Whereas, well, I mean, Piastri just did an insane overtake at the first of the straight, but I think Piastri's slightly smarter, slightly, you know, got that cooler, calmer head on him. Some of the overtakes that Piastri's done has been incredible and perfectly calculated, particularly the one at turn 1 in Miami was beautiful on Max. You know, he knew exactly what Max was going to do and played it to perfection. Yeah, Lando's a good driver, but he does make a fair few mistakes. And he didn't really have the pace yesterday. I think the McLaren excels at higher downforce circuits where tyre deg is more of an issue because they're really good on their tyres. Now at Monza, for example, and Baku, tyre deg isn't particularly an issue. And they are low downforce circuits, which is where I think McLaren lose the edge there. Just explain how moonlighting, it feels full moon, what do you see it reflect on the clouds? I don't even see the moon at the minute, if I'm completely honest, so no, I don't think so. I think it has some moonlighting. At times I've seen it, but it could do with a little bit of moonlighting work, to be honest. I can't find the moon at the minute. What's the moon meant to be at the minute? Is it full moon or half moon or no moon? I've got no idea where we are in the moon cycle. Didn't know you were such an F1 fan. Oh, I am. Massive F1 fan. I do my absolute best to not miss it. I love it. Particularly, you know, engineering. As you all know, I studied aerospace engineering, and a lot of that translates over to F1. Aerodynamics, in particular, and systems and stuff like that really does transfer to F1. So I love the engineering competitiveness, but also just, you know, the driving. I'm very much into cars as well. Love my cars, love my planes as well. So yeah, really enjoy F1. I need to get into watching some other motorsports as well, to be fair. At the minute I only watch F1, but I do want to watch other motorsports. Yeah, so I spent 3 years doing an aerospace engineering degree. I graduated this summer, just a few months ago, and I'm now on my way to becoming a commercial airline pilot, which I have some big news coming relatively soon regarding that. But yeah, did my degree. Now hopefully one day we'll be sat in one of these cockpits for real, is the plan. Yeah, I'm 21, Wanfra. I turn 22 relatively soon, in a few months. But yeah, I'm 21. I think it's new moon, see the X-plane is accurate, or you're just lucky. Yeah, I guess. I have seen the moon at times though, so I think X-plane is just accurate. I would suggest, probably. Do you like trains too? There's a really good looking train sim called Microsoft Flight. Sorry. Yeah, I'm not particularly into trains, if I'm being honest. Really for me it's cars and planes. For me it's cars and planes. I like my my JDM cars. You got to hide at PPL level. Well, I can't say too much yet. I need approval before I share this news that I have. But yes, kind of. All will become clear relatively soon. In fact, Skylar, you have access to my moderator chat on the Discord. Take a look at the moderator chat. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. Take a look at the moderator chat in the Discord. You'll see what I mean. Your son is 20. Ah, wow, yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jesse O'Donnell. Welcome. How's it going, my friend? Glad to see you here. Yeah, Skylar, still private, of course. But I'll be announcing the news publicly relatively soon. Hopefully, I am just waiting on the company. But yeah, I can't wait to announce that. It's pretty big. Yeah, just guessing. Absolutely, absolutely. Swain Martin V2. Hey, I've not seen any of his videos in a while, you know. Not seen any of his videos in a while. It's a shame. Although I've been watching a lot of Pilot Pete, Joey. What's his second name? Can't remember. Joey Mercio. Both pilots in the US. Watching a lot of them. You know, flying, fitness, all that.
Airbus Industry 818, contact Milan, radar on 134.53.
Milan radar 134.53, Airbus Industry 818. Yeah, it does get like that at times. It does get like that. During, when I was at uni, way too busy to do any flying. Where's our top of descent? 100 miles away. Alright, 120 miles away. Well, there's no moon over France now. Alright, so explains accurate then. I actually had no idea that the moon was simulated. Or well, the moon cycle was simulated. I have seen the moon before in X-Plane. I know that for sure. So the fact that it's not here is just because of the moon cycle. Well, that's good to know. Dino, can I ask if you have the 747-8 stream? I don't know if it's worth to buy. I don't have a stream on it yet, but it's on my to-do list. So I will be streaming the SSG 747-8 relatively soon. Is it worth to buy? Not yet, I would say. I keep having issues with the LNAV and VNAV on it. The autopilot just does weird things constantly. So I can't recommend it at the minute, if I'm being totally honest. But it is getting a huge upgrade, allegedly, within a few months. So maybe we'll see then. I would, if I was you, I would hold out until that update. Hopefully, if that fixes the autopilot issues, then it'll be a lot better. He seemed quite young, but even younger than I thought. One of my female pupils, now 15 years old, wants to be an airline pilot too. Brilliant. We definitely need more young people in this space, and you know, in my, I guess my private slash, you know, professional life, it's something I work on. You know, you know, one of the reasons. Oh, we need to switch to Milan, don't we? Totally forgot. Too busy chatting. you know, if this channel can inspire some people, and hopefully this news that's coming relatively soon can inspire some young people to take that jump. Because, you know, the thing with aviation and the thing with an airline pilot is it's so damn expensive to get into it. You know, you're looking at 120,000, maybe 100,000 pounds. Unless you go modular route, it can be slightly cheaper, but it's still a lot of money. Tens of thousands of pounds or dollars to do the training, and it's very inaccessible if you don't have that kind of money. There's scholarships and things that you can get, cadet schemes now in the UK. You know, there's the British Airways Speedbird program, the Jet2 Flight Path program, TUI MPL. So here in the UK, there's a lot of schemes where the company will pay for your training, but it's so difficult to get into those. It's so, you know, the numbers, there's thousands, tens of thousands of applications for 60 spots or 100 spots, you know. So the more that we
Captain
can do
Drischel, First Officer
to make
Nigel,
it more accessible.
Would you like anything to drink or a small snack? Oh, and just so you know, last night his hotel was quite the experiencer, and not in a good way.
No idea what the cabin crew are talking about there. Yes, thank you. I think we'll both take a coffee with milk, please. Thank you very much. I do like the random interaction with the cabin crew with Say Intentions. It's quite fun.
Sure thing, Captain. I'll bring those coffees with milk right away.
But yeah, you know, if the channel can inspire some young people to get into the world of aviation, then whether it's a pilot or engineer or anything, you know, that's fantastic. Yeah, we should be doing as much as we can. Maxshot Flight Center, we used to check when the moon will be at night for several days ahead. It was this accurate. Wow, brilliant, yeah. Wow. Hope you can soon say I'm an airline pilot when you start your videos. Hopefully, yes. A lot of training to go. A lot of training, but it should all be worth it. What I'm really excited for is, ooh, we're getting to a bit of turbulence. What I'm really excited for is actually, you know, having the official training, learning how to do it, because everything you see here right now is pretty much self-taught. I'd love to get the official training and be able to bring it across in my streams and videos. That'd be brilliant. Do you know, yeah, I mean, if you love the 787, it may be for you, but the autopilot is definitely a bit weird. I'll tell you that. Do they also offer meals? I've not had meals yet, but they offer coffee. They did ask for a snack. Say Intention's been adding some really cool, neat features recently. One for a yes, it is very expensive, and I do get issues with it sometimes where it gives me silly instructions. It has on occasion vectored me into a mountain or completely forgot about me. It does do that sometimes, yes. It does have issues sometimes, for sure. It's not perfect. There is a bit of, if you look here, I don't know if you guys were able to see it. I can see it on my monitor. I can see clouds slightly. Or are they mountain peaks? Maybe they're mountain peaks. I can't tell. I think they're mountain peaks with snow. Just here. Might be too dark to see on stream, potentially. And when it's there, I'll subscribe. Yes, oh yes, the new checklist feature. You know, I'm very tempted to get the partner upgrade to try that, because voice checklist using Say Intentions is going to be game changing. I've wanted that kind of thing for so long, where I can actually talk to, because we have a co-pilot simulation now, but all they realistically do at the minute in Say Intentions is they can handle comms now, which is really nice actually. I do use it when when I'm doing a flight and I'm away from my PC or something. I will use that feature. But being able to talk to the co-pilot and run checklists just like they would in the real world, fantastic. I can't wait. Did we end up contacting Milan Radar? I don't think we did. We should probably do that. Milan Radar, Airbus Industry 818, flight level 300.
Airbus Industry 818, Milan radar identified. Good evening.
Yeah, so you know I was talking about issues with same tensions. That's sometimes it bugs out like that, which is slightly annoying. Just putting the destination data in here. Wind is 360 at
Airbus
4.
Industry
They're quite calm.
818. Milan radar. Clear direct. Good axe.
Direct good axe, Airbus Industry 818. Oh, they give us a little shortcut. Not much of a shortcut, you can see it there, but a shortcut nonetheless.
Airbus Industry 818. Contact Swiss radar on 128.155.
Swiss radar on 128.155, Airbus Industry 818. Yeah, there's a lot to come with same tensions, and it's one of the reasons I did subscribe is because I'm interested to see what comes in the future as well. And it's been very useful during my flight training in the real world, getting used to communications. Really, really useful indeed. So for me personally, it's been worth the money. Because, you know, for me, a flight lesson was £218 per hour. Whereas I get this for a little bit less for a whole year. Relative, you know, if it saves me a lesson of 1 hour, it's worth it. Yeah, flying's very expensive. Very expensive. Yeah, same tensions, the traffic injection is coming to XP12. They are working on that. Right, Swiss radar 155. Swiss radar, Airbus Industry 818, flight level 300. Yeah, absolutely. It's good for practice.
Airbus Industry 818, Swiss radar identified. Good evening.
So, that's an interesting voice. Some of the voices are really... some of them sound fantastic and really accurate and, you know, realistic. Some just sound weird. Good practice, absolutely, yeah. Not perfect, but good practice. It's just one of those things that, you know, everyone has a different use case, so for some it's worth it, for some it's not.
Radar, clear Delta Echo Golf arrival into Zurich. Whenever you'd like to send, flight level 210.
Clear the Dopey 2 Golf arrival into Zurich, descend flight level 210. We're roughly 50 nautical miles away from our top of descent, so expect descent in around 10 minutes. Clear this descent really early. Hey, high experience, welcome, how's it going? Good so far. Good so far. We're on our second leg today. Inbound Zurich. Yeah, second leg going nicely, absolutely. Let's check the minimums here. Probably going to be a config 3 landing again. Alrighty. So, minimums is going to be... 1588. Now, let's take a look here. Landing performance. So, we take config 3, we can do that perfectly fine. So, we will take config 3 today. Just means less drag is better on for fuel burn and also for go. Lightning. Huh. Nothing on weather radar though. Interesting. That caught me off guard. What was I saying? Yeah, sorry. Config 3, less drag. And on a go round, of course, you have less drag, so it's slightly sort of safer.
Altitude 8,000.
Now, already? Nah, way too early to descend. Unless they're gonna... I think they're gonna give us a shortcut. Descent altitude 8,000, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, well, we'll start our descent early, I guess. I think they're gonna give us a vector. which is why they want us to descend so early. Last days I flew Phoenix on 24 non-stop. I saw on the Discord, yeah. I saw. Glad you're enjoying it.
We kindly ask everyone to return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Please note that the use of the lavatories is no longer allowed at this time. Thank you for your cooperation.
Right, so
Prepare for landing.
flaps 3 landing. So I was speaking to some 320 pilots, and of course this is probably going to vary company to company, but pretty much the way it goes is they do a flaps 3 landing if they have enough performance to. So assuming that, you know, when they do the calculations they have enough runway to do a flaps 3 landing, they will take it just because it's easy on the fuel burn, less drag, and of course at an airline you are trying to burn as little fuel as possible. Good for CO2 emissions as well, of course. The less fuel you burn, the less emissions you emit, essentially. So for sustainability, it's good as well. So pretty much what I've adopted in the sim now. If I can, I'll do a flaps 3. If not, it's going to be a flaps 4. Yes, I did Keflavik to Minneapolis in a 737-900ER while they were racing at Baku. Oh, nice. Was that in the level up? That's a nice flight. Oh no, was that in the iFly? No, never mind. What am I talking about? iFly doesn't have the 900, do they? Must be the level up. PMDG. Oh yes, PMDG, of course. PMDG, yeah. Got you. Give you a little update on where we are. So we are now in we're near Bern in Switzerland. Where's Geneva? Geneva is over here, right? Yeah, here's Geneva, which is our alternate, by the way. There's some bad weather here, which actually we've avoided very nicely. Yeah, now well into Swiss airspace, coming into Zurich. I believe that's Bern down there to the left then. And it's more floaty at flaps 3 because less drag, you said, but also less lift in flaps 4. So yeah, so there's less lift, but our higher approach speed pretty much counteracts that. But there's less drag, so when you flare, you're not going to slow down as quick with less drag, so you're likely to float. I had the same thing in the Cessna I used to fly. So the Cessna 152, we used to practice flapless landings. So normally in a Cessna 152, our approach and landing speed was 65 knots with flaps 2. 20 degrees of flaps was standard in which we used to use. Now, when I would practice a flapless approach, just in case our flaps ever failed, our approach speed would be 5 knots higher, 70 knots, and it would really float. Because in the Cessna, especially, you can feel the drag, especially when you go down to 30 degree of flap. The aircraft, it's like you stick the brakes on in your car. You can feel the deceleration, and the aircraft used to just float forever. Without any flaps on the landing, and you get the same phenomenon across most aircraft. The flight was supposed to be in a 737 and MAX 9, but we don't have any of those in the sim. Yeah, absolutely. I wonder if, because of course Airfoil Labs are working on a MAX. I'm sure that'll be the MAX 8. Then they'll do the MAX 8 200, and then the MAX 9 hopefully. Maybe even a MAX 10, I guess. But I wonder if iFly are going to do a MAX 9 at some point. Flaps 4 acts like a speed brake. Yeah, it's a lot of drag. A lot of drag. In the Cessna, flaps 2, so we have, 4 stages of flaps. We have flaps up, flaps 1, flaps 2, flaps 3. Flaps 1, 10 degrees. Flaps 2, 20 degrees. Flaps 3, 30 degrees. We used to use one stage, so flaps 10 degrees for takeoff. Just gives us a shorter takeoff run. Flaps 2 was our standard for our approach. approaching landing, and then flaps 3 was only really if we were high and we needed a lot of flap or short field landing, for example. I'll get the max for XP12. Oh yeah, from Air Forward Labs, that's going to be good, hopefully. I don't mind the EFB in the 737 MAX, but they are reworking it for a proper tablet-based EFB, which is nice. They are reworking it. But I like the iFly. I like the iFly a lot, Microsoft Flight Sim. I do think it's a better 737 simulation than the PMDG, in my opinion. The sounds are better as well, the modeling's better. Alright, LSZH and runway 34, we'll put that in. And let's get our radial. So, the course for this approach is 332. We need to minus 200 from that because we want the reciprocal. Easy way to do that, minus 200, 032, add 20. So we get 052. Really easy way. Okay. Another way you can do it, if you want the extended center line, if you want that radial, you can go direct. You can go here, and you can see the radial there. So actually, I did it wrong. It's 152, and you can see the radial there. So I did that incorrect, actually. 152. Just like the Cessna we used to fly. There we are. So, see, good job we checked that. Now we have a nice extended center line, as you can see.
Airbus Industry 818, descend altitude 6,000, turn right heading 165 vectors for the ILS runway 34 approach.
This voice is horrible. Descend altitude 6,000, turn right heading 165 vectors for the ILS runway 34 approach. Airbus Industry 818. Yeah, voice crap much. Yeah. Right, 6,000. We are high, I think. So I'm gonna go open descent and then what is it? 165 on the vectors. .165 on the heading. Jasper, welcome. Yes, both Phoenix and Toliss have really easy workflows. I can be really quick and proficient in both. Absolutely, one for. Literally my two favorite aircraft in the sim, if I'm being honest. I think I don't generally like to say I prefer Airbus, but I think I subconsciously do. I still do really enjoy my Boeings, but the Airbuses just make it really simple. Are you a real pilot, or is this just a hobby? At the minute I'm not a real world pilot, but I am going through flight training to hopefully become a real world pilot. So that is the plan. To me this is sort of, I guess, a hobby, but also preparation for my career in the real world. You know, this is a job I want to do in real life, so no better way to do it than the sim. Did get a nice little shortcut here from ATC. Looking good here. Zurich is down there, but it's IFR conditions. So, in fact, what is the weather? We can have a look. You go here, we can see the METAR. Let's see, is this METAR the same as Navigraph? It is. So yeah, 360 at 4, 5,000 on the visibility. So that'd be 5,000 meters. Then we got a few clouds at 500 feet, broken at 600 feet. Temperature 12 degrees, dew point 11 degrees, QNH 1018. And then tempo 4,500, so it might temporarily, visibility might drop to 4,500. Yes, Wanfra. There's positives and negatives, absolutely. Some things the sim is really good for.
Left heading 160.
Left heading 160, Airbus Industry 818. The sim is good for some things and not so good for other things. So hand flying, not good for, in my opinion. Reason is, the aircraft and X-plane react exactly as they should, but you don't have the feedback that you would in real life, unless you have a force feedback yoke, which, let's be real, most of us are probably not going to have a force feedback yoke.
Airbus Industry 818, contact Zurich final approach on 125.33.
Zurich final approach 125.33, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, so yeah, but for procedures, for IFR, for instrument flying, it's fantastic for, yeah. So during my PPL in the Cessna, I didn't use it to practice things like landings or taking off or hand flying, because it's simply too different, because I don't have a force feedback yoke. But for things like practicing my checklist, practicing my flows, my procedures, my comms, it was really good for. And yes, some things are, actually hand flying a Cessna is easier in real life because you have the feeling, you feel the forces. Trimming an aircraft is easier in real life as well because you have the feeling, you can, you have the force. You can also, in the real aircraft, if you have a sudden, loss of lift, for example, you can feel a sudden, or thermal, you can feel, you go up and down physically with your body, you can feel it. In the sim, you can't, so you can't react as quick. But yes, true, yeah. So the Airbus, maybe so. The Airbus, you obviously don't have the force feedback, but if you're talking about Boeing or non-fly-by-wire aircraft like a Cessna or something, then yeah, Zurich approach, Airbus Industry 818, heading 160, descending through flight level 1274, altitude 6,000 feet. Yeah, the sim, good for some things, not so good for other things.
Airbus Industry 818, Zurich final approach identified. Good evening, expect the ILS runway 34 approach into Zurich.
Just point where you want to go with the Airbus, yeah, it's a lot easier. Expect the ILS runway 34 approach into Zurich, Airbus Industry 818. Right, get the lights on. Local QNH is 1018. I'll get that in now. So we are descending nicely. Exactly one for, yeah.
Airbus Industry 818, turn left heading 135. Airbus Industry 818, turn left heading 115.
Left heading 115, Airbus Industry 818. Gave me two vectors at the same time there. 115. May get some speed brake out here. Help us slow down. Yeah, exactly. The ability does translate into the sim and vice versa, for some things and not so much for other things. Yeah, one for if we were to try and brake in the F1 car with our necks would not survive, probably. Left heading 025, descent altitude 5,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared for the ILS 34 approach, Airbus Industry 818. Right, how far are we? We're at 8,921 nautical miles away. That should be fine, considering the airport is not at sea level. The airport is at an elevation of 50 hectopascals. Really? I thought it's at... Yeah, the airport is at an elevation of 1,417 feet. Anyway, 025. We should intercept the glide slope low. If not, we'll orbit, but we should be fine. Yeah, the biggest thing I found when I fly in real life compared to when I fly in the sim is the G-forces, the feeling I get on the yoke. Not having to interact with a cockpit with a mouse and cockpit. Hello. Are we getting into terrain? I'm gonna remove the speed brake now. We had an insane descent rate there. Try not to descend too much. I don't want to head into the clouds. What's the MSA? Okay, we're okay. The elevation here is... We're in limits. Okay, that's good. So the elevation here is around 4,000 and we're at 5, so that's perfectly fine. On the approach. But for real, a good VR headset, full motion seat, force brake, monster piece to run it, the same tension, it's even better, the closer it gets. Yeah. You can get pretty close. No doubt about it. Okay, 20 nautical miles out, 5,000 feet till we are established. That worked out pretty well, actually. Alright, we'll check with the cabin. Alarm the speed brake. That's Ghost in One's home, level D. Yeah, correct. Microsoft Flight Sim 4. Wow. Things have, yes, absolutely. Things have come a long way, and I'm sure in 20, 30 years, yeah, just imagine what we'll have in the next few years. It's pretty insane. It really is. But I can't even think of what the next, innovation's going to be when it comes to flight sim. Right, it is IFR conditions. So we'll see how this goes if we see the runway by minima.
Airbus Industry 818, contact Zurich Tower on 118.1 when established.
Zurich Tower 118.1 when established. Airbus Industry 818. 181.
Airbus Industry 818, correction, contact Zurich Tower on 118.1 when established.
Zurich Tower 118.1 when established. Airbus Industry 818. We got affordable force feedback. Yeah, true. Absolutely true. Alright, well, we're unlocked glide slope star. We'll intercept that in a second here.
2,500.
Let's go approach speed. Alright, glide slope, autopilot 1. I'm going to get a bit of speed brake in to slow us down. So we can get some flapping. Do lights reflect off clouds? They do, kind of. Are there clouds? Yes, there are clouds at the minute. It's, if you look at the meta, it's view at 500 and broken at 600. So it's going to be close when we actually see the runway.
2,000.
Right, we'll go flaps 1.
Speed check.
Continue to slow down. I may get the gear out early again. Yes, I am using XP Realistic. I just have it muted. But the cockpit movements are on. Circuit Tower, Airbus Industry 818 established ILS 34. Let's get gear down. Again, I came in way too quick.
Airbus Industry 818, Zurich
Contact with the
Tower,
ground.
roger, continue approach runway 34. Airbus Industry 818, Zurich Airport Tower, winds 360 at 4, runway 34, cleared to land.
Speed check. Flaps 2.
Clear to land, runway 34, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, well, we have contact with the ground. Nothing on the runway just yet, so we are slowly coming out of the cloud.
Continue approach runway 34.
Clear to land, runway 34, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, welcome to... Here's Zurich, there's the runway in front. Right, flaps 3.
Speed check.
Stow the speed
Flaps
brakes. We are indeed clear to land. Lights are on. Okay. Beautiful approach. Disconnect the autopilot. My aircraft. We are slowing down nicely to our approach speed. Came in quick, but still got it slowed down. Once you get flaps out, this thing, you know, once you have that flaps, you have the drag, it does slow down. But clean, this thing's very slippy clean. Really slippy clean. You can actually feel the difference, because the Neo engines are bigger, which means they have more drag as well, and I'm 99% sure you can feel the difference between the Neo engines and the CEO engines, just when it comes to the actual drag due to their profile.
400. 300.
100 above.
200.
Minimum.
Continue.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. Retard. 10. 5.
That was better.
Spoilers.
Nose slammed a bit,
Reverse
but
green. Diesel. 70 knots.
stow the speed brakes. Disarm the brakes.
818, welcome to Zurich. Contact ground on 121.905.
Ground on 121.905. Thank you very much. Aerospace Industry 818. Alright, let's vacate the runway and then we'll figure out the frequencies. Cardboard Inventions, welcome, how's it going? Yeah, we'll take a look at that replay. That was actually not a bad landing. I didn't flare until 20 feet above the runway, so we didn't float too much. One of the things I love about X-Plane is if you don't do things correctly, you pay the price in your landing. You gotta nail it, you know? Alright. Let's get these lights off. Alright, I'm just gonna stop here, get the frequency in. So, alright. TCAS off, flaps, speed brakes. Predicted wind shear and the weather radar can go off. Ground on 121.905. No, cockpit won't be changed to one seat. I'll go into more detail in a second, but no, not for a while. There's no way. Right. Zurich ground, good evening. Airbus Industries 818 has departed, correction, has vacated the runway, currently on Echo. Exactly, Wanfra, you've nailed it. Redundancy is everything. With one pilot, you don't have redundancy.
Industry 818, Zurich Airport ground, taxi to dock E-gate 58 via Echo Delta Foxtrot. Good day.
Taxi to dock E gate 58 via Echo Delta Foxtrot, Airbus Industry 818. Alright, Echo Delta. Right, Echo Delta Foxtrot gate 5. Alright, we got it. It is just this gate over here. So, when it comes to single pilot operations, can it be done in theory? Absolutely. Can a single pilot fly an Airbus? yes, there's no doubt about it. I mean, I've just done it. The issue comes when redundancy. What happens when the pilot becomes incapacitated? They could have a heart attack. They could, you know, anything could happen. Suddenly you don't have a pilot. So we need 2 pilots for redundancy, in case something happens, you know. Also, it's forbidden, as Wanfra says there, to have a single, like, 1 pilot in the cockpit or 1 crew in the cockpit due to the German wings accident. So even when 1 pilot wants to go to the toilet, for example, wants to leave the cockpit, one of the cabin crew has to come into the cockpit and take their place. Even though they can't fly the plane, you must have 2 crew in the cockpit at all times. That is the law. So you just don't have redundancy. Additionally, for airline operations, generally the way it works is one pilot will handle communication, one pilot will handle the plane. You can split the load. You know, we talk about CRM, crew resource management. You split the load, and therefore each pilot is doing less work because the work is split between both of them. This therefore means they can focus on that, you know, less mistakes are made. Right, we need to park somewhere here. Let's add a bit more power here. Also, when it comes to emergency situations, you know, trying to handle an engine failure with 1 pilot, that's a lot to do. You know, you got to manually fly the plane. You got to handle the ECAM. It's just not. In theory, is it possible? Yes. Is it ideal? No. So we will always have 2 pilots in the cockpit. That is for sure. At least for the next 20 to 30 years. It's something we spoke about a lot during my degree at university. And I personally don't see a way that we can, with current technology, bypass that. Right, we meant to be going to this gate, but it has been taken. So, let's head to that gate over there. Get the APU going. So yeah, single pilot operations, not anytime soon. Particularly not for commercial operations. This is not BatSim, no. This is Say Intentions AI and Traffic Global for the traffic here. Exactly, Wanfire. We do it in simulations because this is a simulation. There is no consequences to what happens. You'll have work for a long time. Absolutely. Absolutely. No doubt about it. I believe in my career span, to say the next 30 years, or even 40 years, we're fine, you know. Redundancy is massive. There's redundancy for everything in aviation, you know. Right, we'll go into here. VRAM is not playing nice right now, so some of the textures are being compressed. Nice, VDGS looks like it's working for us. That's what we like to see. Alright, we'll stop there. Too far, we overshot. Oh well. APU bleed can go on, we'll kill the engines. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Zurich in Switzerland. That was a nice flight. Decent landing as well, minus 185 feet per minute, 1.68 on the G's. We'll take a look at that replay. I will get the landing lights into the off position, because when you leave them retracted in replay, the lights are on, but they are still in the retracted position, so the lights face downwards in the replay. If you have them in the off position, the lights extend. As you can see, they just don't turn on. So when I go into replay and they turn on, they'll be correct. A little tip there for yous. Let's take a look at that replay then. Exactly, David. You can use this as a game, a serious training tool, a little bit of both. You know, most of the time I'm flying seriously. There's also times where we'll do silly things, you know, for the fun. You know, have I tried to do a loop-to-loop or a barrel roll in an Airbus? I have. I have, absolutely. But most of the time I'm doing, you know, serious flights, to be completely honest. But let's take a look at this landing now. And I will turn it to daytime so we can have a little quick look at the airport as well. Why not? For those of you interested in Zurich by Aerosoft. Not a bad landing. I'll take that. Nose slammed a little bit, but there you go. I want to do pre-CPL hour build in the US. Ah, I see. Infamous 1500 hours. Yeah, I'm so glad we don't have that rule here in the UK. My couple of friends who are now Airbus pilots flying the 320, they're at 300-400 hours and they're flying Airbuses. Yeah, 15 hours is I get the safety reasons. Trust me, I get the safety reasons. But that's a lot of hour building to do as a pilot. That's a lot of costs as well. I mean, before CPO, you have to get 150 hours. Yes, correct. Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely correct. Yes, we do have that rule in the UK as well. Correct. 200 with the PPL stuff. Yes. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So CPL 150 plus 45 for us in the UK. So yeah, roughly 200. But in the UK here, the hours slightly change if you're doing modular or integrated. If you're integrated, it's slightly less because you're doing everything in a shorter time span. Take a look at this replay here. Not a bad landing. I think we learnt from the first one. I'll take it. It was safe. That's what we care about. Pretty bog standard. Exactly what you're looking for, really. Get it down nice and quick, nice and smooth. I do like the reverses on the CFM 56s. There's a huge extended center line here. Not extended center line, sorry. Displaced threshold here at Zurich runway 34, as you can see. But yeah, flared at 20 feet here rather than the normal 30 because flaps 3. Do we have a nice tower view? We do indeed. Brilliant. Coming in with Zurich City in the background. Got to get some screenshots. Yeah, we'll take that. Good stuff. Imagine doing a Cessna 152 tour from Florida all the way to California. That'd be fun. Slow but fun. 152, we cruise at 90 knots. If you have a strong headwind, that's going to take a while. Good stuff. Alrighty. So we'll just temporarily switch it here so you can have a look at the airport during the day. Aerosoft had a huge sale last week, so I picked up Zurich, Newcastle, Madrid and Istanbul. Alrighty. So, oh, you can see, look at the horrible overcast layer we had here. Of course, we couldn't see it at night. Let me just get rid of that real quick so we can take a proper look at this airport. All right, here we are. We got some orthos. It does come with a custom mesh and a ortho patch. So I made a custom mesh using the ortho patch. So nice, lovely orthos. Zurich over there, as you can see. And here's the airport. Really nicely done. In particular, the vegetation around the airport, really nice. Look at all that. I just think it looks fantastic. The forests around the airport, all custom hand-placed, looking great. Ground textures look really nice as well. Custom orthos that comes with it as well. Lovely 3D grass vegetation. Relatively good on FPS as well. I was getting about 30 to 40, which as Zurich is actually better than default for me. The default airport seems unoptimized. This area of Europe is just heavy hitting on FPS in general for me. But Aerosoft actually performs better than default. So it's a really nice airport. Got a custom terminal over here where we parked up. We're over here, as you can see. You can see where I overshot the line. No interior. There is these. I don't know why this is here, because you can't actually see it from outside. Maybe it's there for night or something. But there you go. It does have VDGS systems placed as well, as you can see, which is really nice. And marshallers and stuff. So yeah, the airport itself is actually pretty nice. A little bit expensive. Aerosoft airports are slightly expensive. But overall, it's a pretty good airport. Look at this custom mesh work over here. Bit of a building site. There's a tunnel here, which is all there as well, as you can see. So really nice on the elevation. And there's some custom hangars as well, which you can open and close the doors, which is quite cool. Yeah, I don't care about interiors as well. Exactly, Wanfra. Exactly. I would much rather have a like no interior and save on FPS. Same goes for the cabin. I totally agree. Yeah, look at the mesh work here with a custom mesh patch. Real nice stuff. It's a nice airport. And Switzerland is a really nice area to fly into as well. We've got some beautiful terrain nearby. Let me try and find the hangar in which you can open and close the doors. It's over here, I believe. So if we go to open SAM, you can do it with SAM as well. Remote control. You can open that hangar. I don't know why you can't do it with the other hangars, but you can open this hangar. I think it's a medical hangar, it looks like. I guess. Maybe we can do some medical flights with a PC-12 at some point. But no, it's a really nice airport. Very, very glad. Looks like we've got two Swiss A330s here departing. Good stuff. But yeah, no, really nice custom orthos. These orthos I made myself, and you can kind of see the color difference in the orthos that come with the airport. With this lovely bright green, really nice orthos, and it blends quite nicely. In all honesty, but yeah, really nice airport. Very glad I managed to get the custom scenery for it, and you can see here the lovely surrounding terrain. Zurich city there, beautiful, and some of the Swiss Alps there as well. But yeah, really, really, really nice all in all. Just a very nice airport. We were doing more Zurich flying, I think, because it's a beautiful airport, a really nice airport to fly into as well. It's quite a lot of fun. Alrighty then, well, that was a long stream, almost 3.5 hours. But I hope you all enjoyed it. Big thank you to Toliss again for providing a copy totally for free to the channel to review the A320 CEO. It will be coming out on a Friday, I believe, is the current plan. So if you do want to pick it up, you can pick it up on Friday. We will be back probably tomorrow, if not on Wednesday. We'll be back streaming in X-Plane, most likely. We do have new Aeroscape Southampton Airport to take a look at, so I think we will be doing that. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the stream. Thank you all very much for being here. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.